He's damn cute for a mechanic. Maybe in your next life he could be the car instead. Yeah, and then he could drive me.
Jean?
Oh, the voice. Hello, and welcome to the brand new demo of Threads You Beyond the Bay. This is a dating sim in which your car breaks down on your way back to your hometown. Luckily, a hot man kindly escorts you to the nearby town of Bryan Bay, where you decide to stay for a couple of days while your car is fixed. And as fate would have it, you end up meeting 6 other men. Maybe we'll fall in love with one of them. Let's get started. My name is Yinny. Oh, the writing in the sand, that's so cute. Oh, I love a character creator. Alright. Okay, so we'll choose this one. There's vitiligo options and freckles as well. That's so cool. Oh, I love that. Mouth, I want to do this one because it's cute. Or even like this little sad one. You can also choose lipstick if you want. Moles, I don't really have any. Others. Oh, you can do like scars and like markings and stuff too. Okay, let's go down here to front bangs. What's the most similar? It's honestly, it's like a pretty neat middle part for me, like this or like that. And then I'll change the color to black, but not like super black because then you don't see the lines. I'll do like that. Cute. Wow, there are a lot of options. I really like this. I like the really diverse hair options as well for all the different hair types. I think that's really, really good. Eyes. I like these ones. These are cute. And I know it's not my actual eye color, but I'll do the purpley eyes. Okay, back of the hair, I like skipped a whole section. Where's the very long hair option? Because that's just me. The very, very long one. I think I like these with like the little braid coming down the middle. And then extras. Do I want the little hot cowlick or the little one here? No, I think I'll just remove it. We'll go back to the front just to see if there's a better split option. Yeah, probably this one. I like this one. It has a bit of volume to it. And then clothing wise, let's just go with a sweatshirt. Do they have one of those? They do have an off-shoulder version. So I might go with this, and then we'll do it in like a light blue color, or maybe like a lavender color, because I do like that. There we go. Eyewear. Do they have glasses similar shape to mine? We'll just forego the glasses. And any extra stuff. Oh, these are so cute. But no, I think I'm good. I'll just be like this. Oh wait, makeup. Completely forgot about that. Lashes. I won't do eye makeup though. And eyebrows, because I have like thicker eyebrows. Eyebrows, we'll do... yeah, probably these ones, like the thicker ones. Alright, we are good. And then we'll select our pronouns. I'll do she, her. You can also do custom pronouns as well, which I really, really like. And preferred terms, I will do feminine. Alright, perfect. And let's go. And today is Saturday. You let out a loud, drawn-out yawn. The first of many since you started this long drive. One of your favorite songs plays quietly in the background as you drum your fingers on the steering wheel. Dawn's barely left and the sun is peeking through the horizon. The rest of the sky is asleep with an array of dark blues and purples. The summer breeze is gentle, but not too warm, so you roll down your window all the way to enjoy it brushing against your face. Now, you normally don't get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and tackle a 600-mile drive, but you've been planning this little excursion for a while. The main reason is because you don't have much to do during a summer break. A road trip to your hometown sounded like a pretty good idea, so you went with it. Plus, you do feel a bit homesick. Not that you'd admit that to your parents. Thankfully, I found a rental with bargain wheels that I can use for the month instead of catching flights back and forth. Not only that, it'll save me the trouble of taking my parents' car. You shudder to think about how that would go down with your parents. It's been decades and they both love that old navy blue minivan to pieces. Sometimes you think they love it more than you. God knows what would happen if you had to borrow it and anything happened to it. So this was the safest and cheapest option. You glance outside your car window and take in the view of the ocean. The sky begins to light up from the sun and turn a cheerful bright blue, with a few scattered clouds idly floating around. Waves softly roll across the ocean surface to greet the beginning of a new day. You can't think of anything better to watch in the morning. It's been a calm drive. You got your best hits playlist, some of your favorite snacks, and you're free for the summer. As you hum along to the next track, you start planning where you should stop for lunch. Now, where was that list you had on your phone? Excitement bubbles up in your chest. Even with the long drive, you can't wait to start this new summer adventure. Or so you thought. That doesn't sound good. The smell of burning rubber floats through the windows. Double not so good. The dashboard lights flicker. Your music stutters a few times before continuing. With a pit in your stomach, you glance down to see those familiar menacing signs appear behind your steering wheel. Check battery and check engine. Stare back at you mockingly. Okay, I just need to turn off some things and pray it'll last me. You make quick work of shutting off your music, AC, and GP. That's when the steering wheel locks on you and you immediately tense up. Oh, crap. Despite your panic, you manage to guide the car to the side of the road. You silently thank whoever is watching over you that the roads are empty. You turn on the hazard lights with a frustrated button press. Okay, don't panic. Maybe if I let it sit for a bit, I can try to start it again. 10 minutes tick by before you try again, and again, and again. The engine weakly tries to come back to life only to sputter and die. The lights go off with it and now you're sitting in a dead car. Great. So there goes that idea. Anything else you got for me? The car shudders slightly before it starts to roll forward slowly. You really had to go and say something, didn't you? But it doesn't get too far as the car suddenly comes to a stop with a little thud. With some luck, it seemed like you run into a small ditch to stop you from rolling to your death. Oh, good. I would hate to have just murked myself at the start of my vacation. Without second thought, you pull on the emergency brake so that it doesn't happen again. Okay, it's fine. Now I just need to handle this. You take a deep breath and take your phone out. The service is spotty, but hopefully it'll last you long enough to make this call. You reach for the glove compartment and pop it open to find Bargain Wheel's emergency roadside contact slip. Here goes nothing. After 4 agonizingly long rings, you're connected with a representative. She asks for all the necessary information and puts you on hold to run everything through their system. Here I was hoping to do some sightseeing at some stops. So much for that idea. Your grumbling is cut off when the representative returns. Thank you for holding. I've confirmed your information. All I need is your location. I'll be able to dispatch a licensed Bargain Wheels partner mechanic to you. Great. Okay, so according to my GPS, I'm at... You read off the location and wait for her confirmation. The line is silent. You get that sinking feeling in your gut again. Hello? Can you hear me? No response. You take a look at your phone, finding the screen off and unresponsive to your touch. Oh, for God's sake! Of course your phone also dies. The cherry on top of this shit sundae. Yeah, because why would anything good happen to me when I'm trying to go on my break? I really hope she got the location before the call dropped. You might as well be trapped on a remote island at this point. But your parents raised you better than to quit at the first sign of failure. Or at least that's what you're trying to tell yourself. The battery is definitely dead. It never fully charged my phone even though I've had it plugged in for over an hour. You try to decide your next move. Maybe popping open the hood to check. Before you can make up your mind, you swear you hear something outside. Your round of suffering is repaid in full with the sight of a vehicle approaching you on the other side of the road. Woohoo! Flag it down. Please, help! Flag it down. Oh my god, there's actually people on this road at this time of day. Without much thought, you honk your car horn several times while waving at the car. Come on, please! He watches the door open and out steps a tall man. Ooh, I do like a tall man. Despite his height and sunglasses hiding his eyes, you don't feel that usual anxiousness around strangers. You can't put a finger on it, but the way he holds himself makes you feel a bit at ease. Maybe even safe. It's a weird thing to say about a total stranger on the side of the road, but you always trust your gut. He approaches your car, giving the door a gentle knock. The man leans in, slipping the shades off his face. Hi, how you doing? You come here often? Wow, he's gorgeous. Whoa. Oh, I just want him. He's not even the guy that I'm going for, but it doesn't matter because they're all hot. You're greeted by one of the hottest guys you've seen in a long time, yeah. Your gut is doing you good. I sure hope he'll do me good, as you inwardly cheer for yourself. His warm brown gaze twinkles in the morning sun. You expect a church choir to start singing in the background as he smiles at you. But you have to play it cool. He's still a complete stranger, even if he's ridiculously hot. Mum taught you better than that. The man lays his arm across the open window, giving you a better view of his face up close. You can see a scar running down his face along with a few others scattered around his neck and arm. Look at this. Look at that. Oh.
Hey there. Is everything alright?
Everything's fine now that you're here. How you doing? Oh, the voice. So pretty.
I noticed your hazard lights and figured I'd check to make sure.
Hazard lights? What are those? I could really use a hand. Not really. My car battery is dead and I'd really appreciate some help. I was about to go and pop open the hood and check myself, but then you showed up, thankfully. He offers you a sympathetic look and nods in understanding.
I'm sorry to hear about that. Do you need help jumping it?
If you don't mind, could I jump you? I've got cables in my truck. Just let me turn my car around and I can get that going for you. You can sure get me going. I really appreciate that. Before you came along, I was trying to call the rental company and get some roadside assistance. But my phone died just as I was giving her my location. What a crazy stroke of luck, huh? Sounds like you've been through a lot. I can't do his voice justice.
Here, why don't you borrow my phone and make that call again?
Are you sure? I'm asking a lot from you as a total stranger. He shakes his head, handing you his cell.
Oh, And my name's Gene Williams. Just Gene is fine.
You're so pretty. You give an awkward nod of acknowledgement. I'm Yinny.
We're not total strangers now, right?
I sure hope not. Jean flashes you another warm smile.
Just sit tight and make that phone call while I move my car.
Ugh, the nice purry low tones in his voice. Oh, and make sure to pop open the hood. I'll pop open my hood if you know what I mean. He leaves you to it and heads back to his car. You dial the number and almost cry when you hear the voice of a representative pick up. Making quick work of providing the information again, you also ask if you could get a replacement vehicle. The representative puts you on hold while she looks into it. You wait, tapping a finger on the steering wheel. 12 minutes tick by and your tapping speed increases with each passing minute. It's taking longer than I thought. There's no way I got disconnected again, right? You pick up the phone screen. Your shoulders slump in relief as it lights up still on the call screen. Hello, thank you for holding. Unfortunately, all rentals in nearby locations have been reserved. I apologize for the inconvenience. There might be cancellations, so please give us a call back tomorrow. Do I get my money back? Oh, okay. I'll try that then. Are you sure there's nothing else we can do in the meantime? I'm afraid not. However, we may be able to cover the repair costs. Wait, you should be covering it in general! In addition, we can reimburse you for emergency accommodations. That's more like it. Of course, this will depend on the limit based on your coverage. Well, that's better than nothing. Thanks. You notice Gene waving at you. He mimes the action on turning on the ignition so you grab your key. We have a nearby contractor that has been dispatched to you. Do you have any other questions for me? You insert the key and silently pray. Nope, that's it. Thank you. You're given the typical end of call company shtick before you hang up. With bated breath, you turn on the ignition. The car sputters and miraculously starts. You break out into a grin while letting out a little whoop of victory. You see Gene give a thumbs up before he exits his car. Oh, so pretty. You hop out of yours, practically skipping towards him to hand his phone back. You're a lifesaver. Thank you so much again. I also got in contact with them, and there was someone coming to get my car checked out. That's great news. Where were you headed, by the way? I was on my way to Sunny Cove Valley. That's a bit of a ways from here. I'm on my way back to Brine Bay. Oh, where's that? I never got a proper look at my surroundings on the GPS before it died. The town nearest to us and where I live. I just got off work, actually. My office is in the next town, so I had to make the drive. I'm headed to the SCV to visit my hometown for summer vacation. Well, that was the plan before, you know. That must have been a pretty bad scare out of the blue, huh? You have no idea, but thanks again for the help. His shoulders drop as he lets out a sigh of relief. The smile on his face widens, looking genuinely happy to have helped. It's a rare sight to see someone like him nowadays. Yeah, rare sight indeed. He's hot as fuck. So, did you have any particular plans for your vacation? I did have some spots I wanted to stop by and take photos and try out the local food. My friends begged me to get them souvenirs too. Do you think a postcard is good enough? Gene snorts, his face scrunching up adorably. Maybe a fridge magnet would be good. I had plenty of those from my visits to other towns. I ran out of room on the fridge, so I had to put some away. With your phone dead and nothing else to do, you two fall into a brief conversation about random mundane things. You lose track of time, pausing mid-sentence as another car ambles down the road. It peels off the street, parking just a spot or two away from Gene's. Headlights go out, and his engine sputters out. Quietly enough, you half wonder if you should be worried about his car instead. He steps out, and the first thing you see is red. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. I was gonna go for Vince, but then I saw him. I don't know anymore. Good god, his waist is so small. With a toolbox in hand, and his hand adjusting a utility belt as he approaches. I can adjust one of his utilities. It's an easy guess that he's a mechanic. Wow. Or a really overly prepared do-gooder like Gene, maybe. He nods at you in recognition when you flag him down with a wave. He smiles, an easy, lopsided thing meant for his damsel in distress. He's damn cute for a mechanic. Maybe in your next life you could be the car instead. Yeah, and then he could drive me.
Gene?
Oh, the voice. So that smile wasn't meant for you. With a two-fingered salute and the tools clattering around his belt, the vague tension in Gene's expression all but fades. That really says all you need to know about the two. They're acquainted. Friends, maybe. That's something to be glad for, you hope?
You're competing with my folks? Say it isn't so.
Oh, so pretty. Got some more car trouble for me. Right. I happened to come across Yinny when having some car trouble and stopped to help.
Yeah? I can just pack it up and go home then.
Can you take me with you? What the? So distracting. Go away! Guy? The car? The mechanic exaggeratedly rolls his eyes. His head tips back, coupled with a lazy roll of his shoulders that looks so hard in my mind. His face all but says, "What are you gonna do?" before he finally stands at attention. I'll make something else of his stand at attention. Jean's quiet snicker doesn't go unnoticed.
All right. Let me take a look.
He, Kai, by Jean's unintended introduction, takes a quick glance at the license plate and the crumbled piece of paper in his hand. You're... yeah. The paper's neatly folded and tucked away into his back pocket before he extends a hand to you in greeting.
Nice to meet you. And sorry, I'm Kai.
So pretty.
Uh...
My garage is the closest and we work with, bargain wheels. He produces the laminated license in short order to presumably convince you that he's actually working with them. The logo is bright and colourful beside his equally bright and colourful face with his name in slightly fading font. Kai Nguyen. Alright, so can you tell me what happened here? My car exploded. More helpfully. As you walk him through what happened, Kai takes a leap of your car. His hands live in his pockets as he hums and ahs in between every new and inadvertent disaster. I've been trying to learn the charger a bit after I jumped a car. Sounds like it'd be a battery issue. How long has it been charging? About 15 minutes. Let's try disconnecting and having Yinny drive for a bit. We'll be right behind you. If you're sure, you're in good hands. Kai knows what he's doing. The cables are disconnected and swiftly put away as the three of you pile into your respective cars. Something like hope bubbles inside as you turn on the ignition, and it quickly becomes optimism when everything lights up. The tires roll forward, the radio clicks on, and then it stutters out and you think you can hear its final gasp as you pull the brake. The window doesn't even roll down anymore when Jean and Kai approach. Well, there goes that. Let me take a closer look. Popping open the hood is just reflexive now as Kai reviews its interiors, and you deflate into the driver's seat, the tiniest bit more defeated than earlier.
Oh.
I think I know what this is. You do? Looks like there isn't any damage to the battery, but you're telling me it's not holding the charge. Might be an alternator issue. I'll get this towed to the shop and have a full diagnostics run just to make sure. Let me make a call. It'll be a bit, so, hang tight. Oh, is it gonna be a while? I'm gonna do my best to make sure it's not. Jean waves him off before shooting you a tacitly sympathetic look. Sorry that the jump didn't work out. Don't be. I'm just glad someone stopped, If it's alright with you, I can give you a lift to town. What? No, I can't put you out like that. It was already enough that you stopped and tried to help. Asking more than that just seemed rude. It's okay,
Hey.
You too. Sorry to interrupt, but I just needed to confirm some info with the towing company. Kai hands you his phone, and you relive the same conversation a fourth time. Yes to this, no to that, and a bunch of other responses in between. And by the time it's over, you're just about done with the phone calls for the rest of the day. Maybe even for the rest of the week. And Jean digs out his keys, quickly hitting the lock button until his car gives a cheerful peep. So, how's that ride sound? I really like that. If that's the case, let's share contacts. Jean can take you into town while I wait here. I'll give you a call once your car's in the shop. You nod, reading out your phone number to him. He jots down his number on a slip of paper and hands it to you. They both offer to help move your things to Jean's car. Everything gets loaded in his backseat in no time. I'll see you later, Kai. Stay safe out there. Kai gives him the same salute from earlier and waves him off. Just as you reach the passenger side door, Jean's right there to open up the door for you. You mumble your thanks and get in, feeling a bit flustered. Jean gets into his side as soon as you're properly buckled in. All set? You double check your seatbelt before giving him a nod. He turns on the radio to some popular station you've heard of and peels off the road. Ooh, look at it! The windows are slightly rolled down, and you still get that lovely breeze you were enjoying earlier. It's almost as if nothing ever happened and you're back on the road headed to your hometown. That is, until you hear Jean's humming slowly pick up in volume from beside you. You glance over at him as he continues to hum along, tapping his fingers on the steering wheel. He notices you staring and jolts, clearing his throat. His cheeks look just the tiniest bit red. Sorry, force a habit. I'm used to driving alone, so I ended up doing what I usually do to pass the time. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's more than okay. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll just watch. By the way, you and Kai seem to know each other pretty well. Do you know each other from work, or...? You could say that. I'm usually sending my patrol car to him for tune-ups or repairs. Oh, are you a police officer? Sheriff, actually. It's a bit different from a police officer. I won't get into it, though. I wouldn't want you falling asleep on me. I mean, if you're up for answering some things, I've got a question or two. Really? Ask away then. What's Bright Bay like? How long have you been sheriff? Don't take this the wrong way, but you look a bit young to be a sheriff. And Jean chuckles and shakes his head. I'll only take that as a compliment, actually. It's been about 2 years since I accepted the role. I'm 27, by the way. I can see the question on your face. That's incredible. I can barely get up in the morning sometimes. That's normal, don't worry. It's because my father was the prior sheriff. His smile dims a little. You decide to say something to move on. Then I guess the city's in safe hands. You've been a real lifesaver. Jean blinks in surprise at the statement, but relaxes into a warmer smile once more. Well, I promise you that you'll be safe while you're in town. Sheriff's honor. Well, if the sheriff himself says so, I'll make sure to find you if I run into any troubles. That's what I'm here for. I doubt you'll end up in any trouble. Unless you're a troublemaker, that is. I need a lawyer present to answer that. I'll have you know, I'm a law-abiding citizen. Although, if you want any info out of me, I'll need to phone a lawyer first. He laughs heartily, followed by a small snort. I'm being serious. Your grin is giving you away clear as day. I'll take your word on it. I doubt you'd be able to hurt a fly, let alone do anything illegal. Both of you fall into a bunch of different conversations as the radio continues playing softly in the background. The sun is higher up in the sky now, floating in a sea of clear blue. You pass by a slightly fading sign that reads, "Welcome to Brine Bay," before G makes a right. The car slows down just a bit as it enters the town streets. Buildings varying in sizes and colors surround you. The backdrop of the ocean in the distance is breathtaking. There aren't as many people as you're used to seeing. The morning work crowd is waiting for a bus while some go on foot. Everyone seems to be going at their own pace and isn't in a rush or scrambling to get somewhere. It's a good change of pace with the coastal and cozy energy. The town feels like it's barely getting up along with the citizens. Here we are, welcome to Brine Bay. I've been meaning to ask, but were you in a rush to head to SCV? No, not really. I accounted for pit stops and sightseeing. Why? Well, since you're here and need to wait for Kai, why not do some of that? It's not a huge town, but it has plenty to do if you look around. There's the arcade, plenty of places to eat, or maybe the beach. The sound of your luggage being jostled makes you look at the back seat. I'd love to, but maybe I should find some place to put my stuff down first. Somewhere I can stay a night or two would be nice. I know just the place. It's called the Coral Inn, and it's a great rest spot. The one who runs it is an old friend of mine. Just a fair warning, he's not exactly that receptive towards tourists or unfamiliar faces, but he's a nice guy. Isn't that bad for business? You know, since he's running an inn? Gene shakes his head, huffling out a fun laugh. You'd think that, but he makes it work. The car turns into a smaller street and approaches the parking lot. You look past the lot to see a pleasant two-story building, painted white with light teal roofing. Gene parks in a spot near the main entrance and shuts off the engine. You unbuckle your seatbelt and crack open the door, getting ready to step out and grab your luggage.
Hey.
Let me help you with that. He's quick on his feet, hopping out of the car before you can utter a word. At his insistence, he carries your luggage for you as you two walk into the lobby. It has a bit of a chic flair, alongside the cozy vibe with framed photos of runway designs along all the walls. Speaking of, you walk up to the check-in desk when a man is idly flipping through a fashion magazine. Dante, how's business been? Dante looks up and sets his reading down, a smirk forming on his lips. Like usual. Dante's silhouette looks hot. Hello, how you doing? I haven't even seen his face yet, but look at that. He turns to you and greets you with the same laid-back smile. Welcome to Coral Inn. Name's Dante. We're not a bed and breakfast in case you're wondering. He's an old friend of mine from high school and the manager here. This is Yinny. She got into some car trouble and needs to stay here for a bit while Kai takes a look at her car. I know it's sudden, but do you think you could do me a favor and try and help her out with her accommodations? Oh no man, I'm already cutting it close to my margins this bill cycle. Oh, no worries, I have a card so I can pay. The rental company told me I'll be reimbursed for emergency accommodations after my stay, so it's all good. Cool. Got all the amenities you'd ever want. Wi-Fi, air conditioning, and running water. Really extravagant stuff. I mean, what else could someone ask for? You'd be surprised. Some clientele really like glitz and glamour, but you don't have enough to cough up for the hotels in the next town. Hell, one guy wanted a personal sauna and jacuzzi. Almost laughed in his face. A ringtone interrupts your conversation, and Gene takes out his phone, excusing himself to answer it. No, that about covers it. Would you like a room? Yes, please. You hand him your card and he starts tapping away at his keyboard. He prints out a form for you to sign, handing you back your card along with the room key. You're all set. Have a nice day. He seems to really want to get back to his magazine, because the moment he finishes, he picks it back up, flipping until he reaches a certain page. You thank him and head over to Gene. It sounds like he's finishing up the call as he hangs up for a moment while you walk beside him. He turns to you and smiles, even though there's a pinch to his brow. His shoulders look just as tense as his jaw, so you give him a worried look. Is everything okay? Oh yeah, nothing to worry about. I'm sorry, but I'll have to leave earlier than I wanted to. That was from the station. I need to book it back there for something. Oh, that's fine. I'm sure we'll see each other again at some point. We will. I'll make sure to drop by if I can. Try to enjoy your stay while you're here. Make sure not to get too crazy, though. You wave at him as he rushes towards the entrance. Dante shouts a farewell to him, and just like that, he's gone. Time to get settled. The room, following the theme of Brine Bay, is also cozy and inviting. It's nothing too luxurious, but you find yourself becoming pretty attached to the vibe of the place. The bed looks so soft and comfortable, but you resist the temptation of flopping down on it. You know if you put your head down, you're gonna pass out for God knows how long. This is nice. I would have looked into staying here if I knew about this place. You set the luggage down by the door with a loud thunk. After spotting an outlet, you quickly fish out the charging cable to plug in your phone. While I wait for that to charge, I should look around the room. Maybe even try and get more comfortable. Ooh, yay, I can decorate my room. Oh, I love doing stuff like this. Wall decor. Games. Stardew Valley. Is that Silas from Love and Deep Space? Nautilus. Framed. Marine. Plants. I do like plants. But Stardew Valley. Let's do the plants first, because I want to make something look cute. Clock. Berry clock. A cat clock. I like the cat clock. Above the bed. Polaroids. Vines. Seashells. Roses. This is so cute. Wisteria. I love wisteria. I might do the Polaroids though, because I'm very basic. Bed. Sheets. Default stripes. Strawberry. I do like strawberry sheets. Or little hearts. Green. Lots of options. Wow. Oh, the cottage style is cute, but let's go with the strawberry for now. Plushies. Penguin. Meow. Capybara. I can put multiple ones on there. The penguin is so cute though. And the chickadee. Yes, I'm gonna do this. Side table. Default wisteria. Lava lamp. The flower lamp. I like this. The daisy lamp or the ducky. Lit up. Mushroom. Groovy. Star. I'm gonna take the star lamp. Desk. Left. Plant. Books. Tulips. Clock. Candles. Gonna do the plant. I like having a place that's full of plants. I have my laptop or tablet. Cat lamp. I'll have my laptop out. And then on the right hand side, we will do the whale. We'll do another plant. Or the picture. Oh, the picture is too cute. Yeah, let's do the picture with the cat. And then we'll do mirror. We'll do vines around the mirror, I think. Because yeah, these are really cute too, but I really like the I do like the vines. Shelf left. We can do I want more plants? Yes, we'll do more plants. Oh, the keyboard though. That's nice. I'll do the plants for now. Let's see what we can do on the right. Right. Succulent, bird, fish, anchor. Maybe we'll do the plant here on the right. And then on this side, I'll have the keyboard. And then for keychain, I will do trinkets. I do like a good set of trinkets. Succulents, accessories, pictures, camera, oceans, dreamy. Let's do the trinkets. And floor. Daisy rug, berry rug, shore rug, multicolor. Oh, the multicolor rug is really nice. Or even just the checkered rug. And the froggy rug. Oh, some of these are so cute. I think I might go with the flower rug, because this is really nice. I feel like it brings it together and matches the pink really well. Well, this is my room. As you finish settling in, your phone starts to ring. Kai's name appears on the screen, so you quickly answer it. Kai, what's up? Hey there. Just want to let you know that your car's safe and sound at the shop now. Also, just checking how things have been for you. Yep, all good. I'm staying at the Coral Inn. Good to hear. I'm going to text you the address pin for the shop. It's about a 15-minute walk from where you are, but I like to explain in person and also have you sign some forms. Sounds fun to sound, I know, but it's Bargain Wheels policy. That's okay with me. I'll be there in a bit. You hang up and instantly hear the chime of a new text. It's the address pin along with a thumbs up emoji. You get it set up on your phone map and head out. I'm gonna look at my phone. Okay, there's a bunch of people we haven't met yet. There's the map pin. Can we go back? Ooh, 11 gram. Someone just tell me why the vending machine just ate my chips. Like I didn't ask so much in life. Just salt crunch and the sweet release of processed potatoes. Betrayal. Went over to Chris's place and the girls tried to convince me their stuffed animals could beat me in an arm wrestle. Lost the match somehow. You ever eat something so good you want to fight the chef out of respect? He's so funny. Hash browns. Stop by Joe Mama's and ask for the Kai special. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Blasted burnt popcorn with garlic powder and paprika. Is this umami? Hey, it's Naked Toaster from Blooming Panic. And it's Cove. Real name. Found a sand pail at the beach today. Did someone lose it? That's sad. Oh, and the Peachly Valley devs. Playing Eternal Blessing of the Stars until I get home from work. I still love Henry so much. Oh my god. Whoever gave Hero his password back. Trust they will be dealt with. Let us know if you need anything else from us. If threads of you, more like threads of ew. Get beyond the bay and come stay in my bunker instead. That's where the real party happens. Cool emoji. Fool's Paradise for the win. Hero. Evermore is supposed to keep me out of trouble, yet they gave me back my password. Dust Dragon, the stars are waiting. Ro, asleep. Google what's hottie in Italian /ref. C'est la vie. Keepy, I cook 3 Indomies now. Google, is it healthy to sleep 2 hours per night? Dante looks up from his magazine as soon as you enter the lobby. How's the room? Everything to your liking? For sure. It's really nice and I wish I could stay longer. He smiles and leans back against his chair, looking pleased at your enthusiastic response. Glad to hear. Let me know if you need anything. Will do. Thanks again for the help and warm welcome. She mentioned that Dante can be a little standoffish with guests, but I haven't gotten that vibe from him at all. Let's try and keep it that way though. Wouldn't want to accidentally go on his bad side while staying here. Don't mention it. Go on, have fun exploring. You wave at him and take your leave. You haven't been to many auto shops, but Them's the Brakes has a certain charm to it. Them's the Brakes. The smell of motor oil and rubber is strong but not unbearable. Oh, there he is. Kai greets you at the garage entrance, wringing his fingers clean into a towel as he takes you over to what you can only assume is a reception area. Maybe he can take me in another way. He leans back against one of the workbenches, arms crossed over his chest. You can take a seat wherever you like. So he says, but the only option available to you are what looks like a well-worn couch and one of the lopsided stools in the garage. You shake your head. Suit yourself. So, I've got some good news for you. Looks like it really is just an alternator issue, so it's not too bad of a fix. Bad news is that it's not going to be an easy thing to get. What do you mean? We can't just, I don't know, go buy one? In theory, yeah. In practice, I'll need to get it from a dealer. It's a rental, so it's complicated. I had to go through bargain wheels, and then they've got to reach out to the nearest dealer, and it wouldn't be a priority since they wouldn't exactly be making money off of it. You're joking. The sympathetic expression on his face tells you he very much isn't. Give or take a few days before I can get the alternator in my hands. Sorry, it's kind of how it goes, but once I get it, it should be pretty quick and you'll be able to get out of here in no time flat. That's not exactly the news I wanted to hear, but it's not the worst thing, you suppose. You get to stay at that nice inn for a little longer. Maybe this is all some elaborate twist to get me to make some summer memories here. I tried calling them earlier, but corporate's up. Well, speak of the devil. Hang up for a second in case I got questions. As Kai disappears into the garage, you start thinking about your next step. Now that you have at least a few days of free time, what will you do with it? Meet someone special? It sounds a bit tacky, but what's a bit of summer fun without falling in love? You think about those cheeky yet oddly addicting romance dramas you grew up with thanks to your mom. It wouldn't hurt to maybe look for a cute guy to hang out with while I'm here. Before long, Kai returns with a clipboard and a handful of forms that get crushed against a pen that he's holding. Alright, so give me your initials here and here, signature here, they'll keep you liability free as the renter. After a quick review to make sure the legalese all holds up, the paperwork is completed and hastily faxed away. That's about all I can do for you for now. Just kind of waiting game. Gene help you out? Yeah, he pointed me in the direction of an inn. Coral. That's the one. Guess I should do my part. You hungry? I was about to grab something to eat before they called in the cavalry. Come on. He doesn't wait for an answer, but he does wait for you by the door. The sign still flipped to say open. Don't need to change that? Nah, I need maybe 10-15 minutes tops. Don't you get indigestion? All the time. As he pulls down the shutters, a little breath and laugh manages to escape. The garage is swiftly locked and he guides the two of you onto the sidewalk. And guide me onto something else. I'm just walking you there and I'm allowed to head back. Can't take too long of a detour. Cars want me, something needs me. I want you. I want you. I need you. We can grab something together next time, yeah? Well, I got someone else around to mind the garage when my dad's out of town. You walk into the diner beside Kai. The smell of fresh coffee instantly hitting you alongside a gust of freezing air conditioning. It's a quaint little place, but judging by the amount of customers, a popular one. One of the servers walks over, greeting you cheerfully with a bright smile. Welcome, come on in. He's so cute. His polite smile falters when his eyes land on Kai, but only for a moment before stretching into a warmer, genuine grin. Kai, what trouble are you bringing in here today? Good trouble, probably. Kai nudges you playfully. The familiarity between these two gives you an immediate sense of ease. This is Yinny, new customer, new tourist, new friend. Nice to meet you, Chris. Kai rests his elbow on the counter, half leaning against as he jerks a thumb back in Chris's direction. Finest shelter side of... downtown? Chris gives Kai an appraising look, raising an eyebrow. Thanks. That's suspiciously high praise. You two know each other, I take it. I sure hope I do take it. Yeah, you could say that. Known you what, 10 years now? You're how old again? We're the same age, Kai, but yeah, just about. Why? Wanna see if I could shamelessly ask you to spot me a free meal. Chris's cheeks turn pink as he crosses his arms over his chest, trying to hide his smile behind a huff. You could try. He flashes Chris a cheeky grin, leaning forward on both his elbows. Kai rests his head on his hands, and it's obvious even at a glance that Chris isn't entirely put off by the question. How about if I hit you with a pretty please? That worked on me last week. Kai, she's 12. And? Fine, you heard the man. Order whatever you want, Yinny. Morning's been rough on her. Car troubles. Chris gives you a sympathetic look. You respond with a small smile and shrug. I'm sorry to hear about that. Are you doing okay? Nothing a full stomach can't help. Glad to hear. It's on Kai's tab, so feel free to order as much as you like, okay? Hold on now, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Chris huffs again, smiling fondly at Kai's played-up nervous grin. He grabs the menu, gesturing for you to follow him. Kai relents with a finger salute, as his other hand reaches for the door. Don't be a stranger. Also in the future, you tell him Kai sent you. He'll give you 3 orders of hash browns on 1 big plate. I'll keep that in mind. Don't knock until you try it. Go back to work. I'm going. Chris happily waves and you toss him a quick thanks before he leaves. You sit down in a booth near the counter. His stomach decides to make its hunger known with a loud rumble. Chris, the kind soul only lets out a small laugh as your cheeks burn. I'll give you a minute to look over the menu, then I'll be right back to take your order. All our portions are pretty big, you definitely won't be leaving hungry. He leaves you to it as you open the menu, turning around to check up on several tables, grab empty drink glasses and keep light conversation. Somehow, he makes it look effortless. For all the stress of today, you feel like you can finally relax, slumping into the airy booth seat. Let's see. Oh, what do I want? What's Kai's special? Let's have that. You say you consider it, and honestly, a full plate of carbs does sound pretty great right now. You call Chris over once you decided. A smile tugs at the corner of his lips as he nods. As you wait, your gaze starts trailing around the diner. Other servers are quickly going back and forth to different tables every few minutes. Some tables are filled with lively families of all ages. Others have quieter single occupants sipping coffee while scrolling on their phones. Many customers seem well acquainted with each other as they pass by booths, greeting one another warmly. There are a few that stand out way too much to be locals. And then again, it is summer, so you aren't surprised to see tourists around here. And here we are. Chris appears out of nowhere with your plate, smiling down at you. He places it in front of you with a smooth, practiced motion. You start to dig into your food, humming in delight at the delicious flavors hitting your tongue. But stop when you see Chris slide into the seat across from you. Oh, it's so cute. He puts his chin in his hand, his eyes twinkling with genuine curiosity that reminds you of an eager puppy.
Go on. Don't mind me.
Oh, I'm minding only because you're cute. Okay, you can't really complain, considering he did get you a free meal, but this is certainly a new dining experience. Not that I mind, but do you always sit down to watch your customers eat? He laughs to sound light and charming. Up close, you can see a spattering of freckles across his cheeks.
No, not usually. But Kai's told me to look out for you, so that's what I'm doing.
I can't stay for long, but the part-timers can handle things until it's time for me to get back to the kitchen at least. You take a tentative second bite of your food. For all their teasing, it seems he and Kai are pretty close if he's actually doing this. Or maybe that's just how people are here. Jean and Kai were extremely friendly in their own right too. I appreciate the warm welcome. I really appreciate the way everyone's been looking out for me. You've all been so nice and welcoming.
Well, I'm glad you think so. We all try to help each other out. And we do the same for newcomers.
Bright Bay has its ups and downs like any other city, but it's my home. I hope you enjoy it here. I think I will. His head jerks up at the sound of the bell at the counter ringing.
Sorry, I've got to get back to work. It was nice hanging out with you. Make sure to tell me how the food was later, alright?
Oh, and as promised, it's on me this time. Just close out the tab of the counter whenever you're done. He stands from the table, drumming his fingers on its surface as he leaves. I will, thanks. And like that, he's gone, his strawberry blonde hair bouncing as he rushes to the counter to greet customers. You turn back to your plate to dig in. The food's delicious. And as Chris said, the serving size is way more than enough. Before you know it, half of the meal is gone. You lean back against the booth with a full and happy stomach. After giving yourself a moment to relax from the meal, you get to head over to the counter for a box. It'll make up for a great dinner later on at least. You notice that Chris is there, holding a to-go bag and chatting with someone. Oh my god, it's Vince. Oh, I love him. I want him so bad. This is the one that I want the most. You know, I always like them a little bit sad, you know? His soft white hair is the first thing that catches your eye. He looks a bit uncomfortable as he stiffly stands there with the gaze on his neck. He doesn't meet Chris's gaze either. It's good to see you, Vince. How's your practice going? Vince lets out a small sigh while rubbing his neck.
The day's barely started.
Oh, I want you so bad. You sound so sad. I know, but I figured I'd ask and check on you. A customer nearby calls to Chris. He puts the bag down onto the counter and offers a quick wave. Sorry, I'm gonna go. Enjoy your food. Vince gives a small wave back, watching Chris dash away. He lets out another small sigh and turns to reach for the bag. That's when his eyes meet yours. Hi. He freezes up, looking a bit startled at your presence. His mouth opens and closes a few times. He looks like he wants to say something, but is having a hard time deciding. I should probably say something so it doesn't get too awkward, right? Oh, I love him. Yeah, I'll say something. I love you. Don't pressure him or introduce yourself. Oh, I don't know what to do. Introduce yourself. You give him your best charming smile. Hi, my name's Yinny. I'm sort of acquainted with Chris and it's my first time at this diner. I had a really great lunch thanks to him. Are you a regular here? Whatever you ordered smells amazing, by the way. Vince stares in surprise at your sudden introduction. But you must have done something right, judging by how his body relaxes a bit, his tense expression easing into an awkward smile.
Hello, I'm Vince. I wouldn't call myself a regular, but that guy, Chris, he usually greets me around this time of day.
I love you. You're so cute. You're so pretty. You don't have the dark hair, but you seem to have sad backstory. And I'm like drawn to you like a moth to a lamp. So I guess I kind of am. I think you can kind of tell, but I'm a new visitor to Brine Bay. I ran into some rental car troubles and I'm waiting for that to get fixed.
That sounds difficult. I'm sorry that happened.
It's okay. I decided to make the best of my time here and take a proper look around. Actually, I was wondering if you had any recommendations for me. Are there any spots you like to go to often? I like the beach. I spend most of my time there feeding the crabs. That's the first time I heard of that. What do you feed them? Usually pieces of meat for my meal. I tear up some chicken or beef and they really enjoy that. I'll be honest, I never expected crabs to like meat. They do. Not only that, but they enjoy eating dead bodies of other animals. He says the fact with such enthusiasm, you're taken aback for a bit. Without him noticing, he's gotten closer to you with his hands moving animatedly as he talks. Oh, he's so cute. Please go on about your hyperfixation. Your expression must have been more extreme than you thought because Vince turns bright pink and takes several steps back. I mean, crabs are scavengers. It's not like they specifically look forward to eating dead bodies. If you think about it, we also sort of do too, considering we eat stuff like burgers and fried chicken. He rambles on while looking down at his feet, becoming more and more embarrassed. His mouth snaps shut and he hunches over slightly, trying to look as small as possible. No!
Sorry. I'll be going now.
No! Before you can get a word in, he dashes over to the door. Vince, don't forget your food. Chris comes up from behind you with a hand on his hip. Vince freezes. He's already halfway through the door, standing there awkwardly for a few seconds. He slowly turns back around, trudging back to the counter with his gaze glued to the floor. He silently grabs the bag and takes his leave again, stiff as a board. I'll make him stiff in another way. You hear Chris let out a soft sigh. He turns to you, meeting your gaze. Is everything okay? I think so. We'll talk about crabs, but I think I might have spooked him. No, I think you're fine. Sorry for leaving you two like that. Please don't take it to heart, by the way. Vince is just a bit, well, he's not a bad guy. All you can do is nod. He definitely didn't give off any weird or bad vibes. Chris helps you close your tab. He also hands you a pamphlet with the diner's address and number on it. Keep this on you. If you ever need a hearty meal and a place to relax, you're always welcome at Cup of Joe. Keep this on you. If you ever need a hearty meal and a place to relax, you're always welcome at Cup of Joe. It was nice meeting you. I hope I see you again. You thank him with a warm smile, waving goodbye. Do I get to see Vince again? Once you leave the diner, you notice the sun is a lot higher in the sky now. You briefly check your phone, and it's just turned noon. With a full stomach and lighter mood, you decide to walk off your meal by getting a general look at your surroundings. The city has several places of interest you might check out later. There's an arcade spot, theater community center, and other entertainment spots. You walk past a group of people holding bags and baskets full of fresh produce. One woman carefully balances a stunning bouquet of sunflowers in one arm and a bushel of roses in the other. You turn to find the general direction of where they came from. It looks like there might be something worth visiting. There are rows of stalls lined up with all sorts of different handmade goods and produce being sold. And a fat cat on the bench. Look, I can put the little putt-putt on there. See? Cute. From the looks of it, you stumble into a bustling farmer's market. You decide to follow the crowd walking down the road between the stalls. You can do it, honey. We just need a few more things and then we're good to go. More? I thought that was the last of it. You watch as the couple struggles to pull a handcart filled to the brim with fruits and vegetables. The one not pulling huffs, putting her hands on her hips and offering to take her partner's place. She only takes a couple of steps forward before coming to a complete stop, cheeks red and out of breath. Hey, watch out for the equipment. You jolt and quickly move out of the way as a new voice pops up in front of you. A quick sweep of your surroundings shows a single tripod standing at least an arm's length away. Perched on top of it is a sleek black digital camera that looks like it costs more than a month's worth of rent. He clears his throat and you turn on your heels, coming face to face with a man bearing a menacing glare. The man shakes his head as if he knocked over the gear. Oh, is that it? I'm not close to it, but you're getting close and that's close enough, it's important. His arms are crossed tightly over his chest, tapping a foot impatiently. He looks like he's about to continue his scolding session with vengeance. This guy screams trouble, and maybe even a possible street fight if things go south. You mumble an apology before quickly turning to leave. In your hurry, you actually bump into something this time with a loud crashing sound. Crumbs sprinkle all over you on the floor. You look up to see a woman holding what used to be an intact box of crisp cookies. She's also covered in cookie debris, staring blankly at the mess between you two. I'm sorry. Your apology is cut short when she heaves a heavy sigh and puts both hands up in front of her. It's fine. It was on a company card. It's fine. You can't even get a word in as she speed walks away, all the while murmuring something under her breath. That sure was something. You're left dumbfounded, covered in cookie crumbs. You take a moment to recollect yourself before starting to brush them off.
Are you doing okay? That was a pretty messy accident. I've got a towel if you need it.
Oh my god. Why is everyone in this game hot? Look at his earrings. Oh, he's so cute. You look behind you, finding a man casually leaning over his easel with a clean towel in one of his hands. Did you see all of that? He gives you a bemused smile, gesturing for you to come over. Sure did. I'm pretty sure everyone that wasn't busy witnessed that. But let's get you out of the line of fire before another accident happens. He extends the towel towards you and you take it with a grateful nod. As you start to wipe away the rest of the crumbs, he turns back to his easel. He starts scratching away with a black crayon on the sketch pad. Not from around here, huh? Was it that obvious? Every local knows not to get distracted in the farmer's market. It's a war zone out here if you're not careful. Well, I think I learned my lesson very clearly now. He chuckles at your dry tone and puts the crayon down.
It might not have been the best experience, but I've got to thank you for being my newest muse.
He picks up the sketch pad, turning to show you. It's a messy but adorable portrait of you covered in crumbs. The style reminds you of something you've seen before, but you can't put a name to it. This is so cute. I definitely don't look that adorable while I've got this mess on me, but thanks.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
He smiles sheepishly and tears off the sheet to hand to you.
I want you to have this. I hope it might cheer you up a bit after the cookie incident.
He makes air quotes with his fingers at the last part, and a laugh bubbles up from you. Thanks. I'm glad I was some form of entertainment to the locals. You notice a small signature in the top right-hand corner of the paper. It reads A. Mitchell in a similarly messy hand. What's the A stand for?
It's Andrew, actually. Andrew Mitchell. Feel free to just call me Andrew, though.
Well, you're a great artist, Andrew. I'm Yinny. Is this something you do for a living? His eyes widen at first, but then he laughs it off and shakes his head. No. I'm glad you think I'm good enough to earn a living off it, but I work over there. He points at the bookstore several shops down. I run Book Hook most of the time, but I like to take a break every once in a while.
Oh.
Actually, I'm out here trying to advertise the event happening at my shop tomorrow. What's it for? It's a promotion for the 25th anniversary of the official release of Trials of Tempest. I've got a new reprint coming to my shelf soon. I figured it'd be a good way to get people to stop by the shop. Now that he mentions it, the style is reminiscent of the original book cover art for the series. You glance out at the sketches he's taken out of the sketch pad, that are laid around his feet. They all bear a similar look to them design-wise. He's clearly inspired by the art of Trials with its unique light hand strokes and crosshatch shading. His personal twist uses crayon, giving it a chalky outline to everything. I really like the series. Oh, no wonder your art style seemed familiar. I read a lot from this series growing up. If I get the chance to, I'll try and stop by and take a look around. Andrew blinks owlishly at your response. He glances down at his easel, brushing his hands over his lap. He takes a moment to collect himself before turning to fish a flyer out of the tote bag by the foot of his easel. That'd be great, honestly. Thanks for offering the visit. If you want to try it again, you can walk right in or call the store. The address and numbers on the flyer. A loud bang of what sounds like fireworks startles you both. You turn your head to see where the sound came from and notice a large crowd gathering around something nearby. Looks like the afternoon show is about to get started. Do you know what that's about? The local theatre company, Real Dramatics, hosts an annual fundraiser talent show every summer. You don't have to be in the company to participate, by the way. Locals can sign up and give it a go. I'd volunteer, but I don't think anyone wants to watch a guy paint for over an hour. Trust me, the performances are something you don't want to miss. That sounds really exciting. I had to go check it out. Thanks again for the tower on the flyer. I should get going. No worries. Keep heading east and you'll end up at the beach. Got it. I'll see you around. He waves at you as you make your way down the street towards the beach. You arrive to find the crowd gathering by a stage. Music starts to blast on the speakers with a super lively and catchy tune. The symphony of electric guitars, piano and drum has everyone bobbing their heads and clapping along with the beat. You want to get a better view, so you make your way through the crowd, looking up at the stage when the crowd starts to cheer. Oh, so pretty! 3 people strut up onto the stage. The man in the middle is hard to miss with that electrifying green hair and his dark tank top that shows off his fit body. He blows a kiss and you hear a swarm of fans squeal with glee. Somehow, you find yourself front and center of the crowd. You lock eyes with the main singer. He smoothly slides across the stage with a quick and graceful footwork as he sings along with the two backup singers behind him. And they say he's the Rizzler with the most risible. The lyrics sound familiar. You recognize these lyrics. How could you not when they were being blasted in your dorm nearly every day? As ridiculous as it sounds, you can't help but start singing along. It's not your fault the song is good. You find yourself sidestep dancing as you sing louder and louder. You startle as the main singer hops off the stage and waltzes through the audience. He does amazing crowd work as he high-fives people, waves at them, winks, and occasionally stops to make them sing along into the mic. That's when he locks eyes with you again amidst a throng of adoring fans. He smoothly makes it over to you, never missing a beat as he does. You probably noticed you singing along while he was on stage because he finishes the last line and moves the mic in front of you. Now everyone's eyes are on you, what are you gonna do? In real life? Freeze up and cry? In the game, show off. It's your time to shine. You've had plenty of practice doing karaoke nights with your friends, so you're ready. You lean in and start singing into the mic alongside him. You might not hit every note, but you're absolutely rocking it. You notice his eyes twinkle happily at you as he sings. His grin is contagious and you feel yourself grinning back. The two of you harmonize pretty well and the crowd absolutely loves it. Your spotlight moment ends as soon as he steps away and moves to another person nearby. He does this with a couple more people before he leaps back onto the stage. The music swells as he and the backup singers all strike a unique pose at the final note. A flash of sparklers rain from the stage to finish the show.
Thank you! Thank you! My name's Kevin Zuno, and these two awesome performers with me are Zoe and Mika!
He sounds like your very typical cheery and bubbly extrovert, and I'm very, very here for it. Real Dramatic's annual summer talent show fundraiser wouldn't be possible without all your support. An extra big shout out to all our lovely fans that came today. He throws a deadly combo of a wink and kiss to the crowd below. Swarms of fans are waving posters and signs with Kevin's face on them, shrieking and jumping happily. These funds will go to our community theatre to keep everything up and running. Not only that, it'll keep our class prices low and help fund performances abroad. He makes a grand sweeping gesture at the booths on either side of the stage. If you're interested in donating, please check out the booths after the show. Now that that's out of the way, give it up for our next act. We've got some wicked breakdancers ready to flex their skills. Applause roars from the crowd once more before Kevin bows and leaves the stage. You watch him move through the throng of people and to your complete surprise, heads straight for you. He stops in front of you, giving you a sheepish grin.
Hey there! Thanks for watching our show. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, I wanted to say thanks for being such a good sport while I was doing crowd work. You might have heard earlier, but I'm Kevin. What's your name?
I did, but it's nice to meet you again. I'm Yinny. And I really like the performance, yeah. It's my first time at such a high-energy talent act. Kevin smirks, tucking his thumb and finger under his chin.
Well, you are talking to one of Brian Bay's biggest stars.
It's only natural that my fans will come out and support me. Oh, wow, really? Nah. His smirk widens at your blank stare. I do have a decent following. I'm a pretty big deal in the online theater scene. Oh, really now? Or are you bluffing again?
Hey!
This time, it's for real. I've got at least 10,000 followers on there. He takes his phone out and rapidly taps away on the screen. Before you can get a word in, he faces it towards you. A muted video is playing on the screen showing various cuts of him performing on different stages. You note the amount of likes and comments on the video. He definitely isn't lying about his popularity, at least. You mentally jot down his username, DarkDerealKev, to look up later.
Careful now. He'll scroll on his page for hours if you don't stop him.
Ooh, he's so pretty. He's like the academic type. Kevin and you look up from his phone to find a man standing a few feet away. He could easily be mistaken for a model with his looks. Long, wavy, light brown hair frames a handsome face, and thin framed glasses do nothing to hide his pretty brown eyes.
Oh?
Well, if it isn't my biggest fan, I didn't know the mayor of Brian Bay had the time to visit a humble performer like me. The mayor is hot. Usually I'm used to mayors like Mayor Lewis. Kevin makes a grand show greeting him with a deep bow. The man's cheeks tinge pink as he coughs into his fist. Play along. You can tell right away that Kevin's messing with you again. But for some reason you feel like playing along with his little joke. You sure do know a lot of people in high places.
Please, ignore him. I could never be the mayor, really.
My family just happens to be quite involved with the local development of Brian Bay. We own some real estate, it's nothing to brag about, but let's move on from that. Well, I'll be honest, when Kevin said you're the mayor, I already knew he was bluffing. I didn't. I thought you actually were the mayor.
Oh, what gave it away?
I doubt any mayor dresses that fashionably. He runs a hand through his hair before flipping it elegantly. You have a good eye. Perhaps I should wear car keys next time to properly fool everyone. As if you'd ever walk out of the house wearing that. I could make it work with a bit of tailoring here and there.
Well,
Anyways, I had a moment to myself after a few meetings, so I decided to come and watch a talent show. But while I was listening to the next act, I couldn't quite pay attention with someone loudly bragging about himself. Really, Kevin, you have plenty of fans already. I'm sure she can be spared. You're just jealous. You don't mind, right? He throws on his best puppy eye look, and you can't help but snort in response. Kevin sighs dramatically at your lack of agreement. He shrugs with a grin, pulling at his lips. Okay, I got the message loud and clear. I'll leave you to be. I'm gonna head over and help out at the booth anyway. Enjoy the rest of the show. Hit me up later if you want to talk more. He gives a big bow to you and then blows a kiss to the man. The man rolls his eyes as you two wave goodbye. Kevin disappears into the crowd, leaving you two alone. Without Kevin's bubbly energy filling the space, you both fall into a comfortable silence. The next act is mesmerizing to watch as a team of acrobats flip and leap smoothly across the stage. It amazes me how flexible some people can be. Yeah, you want me to show you how flexible I can be? Not very. You can say that again. My bones creak every time I get up from my chair. Okay, I'm not that bad. He snorts, his shoulders slightly shaking from trying not to laugh out loud as you grin at him. You somehow end up making brief commentary here and there with him on the different performances. You don't even notice how fast time goes by until the last act finishes and you see the theatre company's director is on the stage. He quickly introduces himself before thanking everyone for their attendance and donations. You clap along with everyone as the theatre crew takes a bow. The director bids everyone a good night, signaling the end of the show. And tell him this year was better than the last. What'd you think of it as a newcomer? I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I definitely think I needed something like this to start off my vacation right. I wish I'd been there the last year too, that's how every talent show goes. I'm glad my car decided to break down in the city of all places. I think there's plenty of interesting things that'll keep me busy here. His brows furrow and he offers a sympathetic smile. I'm sorry to hear that. Where were you driving from?
wait. I'm sorry, where are my manners? I never even introduced myself properly this whole time.
That is true, your name is just Fashionable Man.
My name is Wyatt. Usually I'm on top of things like this, but I suppose I had a few very good distractions keeping my mind busy.
His lips pull into a flirtatious smile and leans in closer. He extends a hand out to you and you feel a bit flustered at the direct eye contact.
Well,
I'm a business manager first and foremost, but I do dabble here and there depending on my interests and whenever I have the time. You shake his hand, surprised at how soft and gentle his skin feels. Then again, everything about the man screams luxury, so you're not surprised he has a good skincare routine. He hands you a light beige business card embossed with thin gold borders and floral details.
oh,
And I don't think I caught your name. I'm sorry. It's Yinny. It's never too late for introductions, I think. It's nice to meet you, Wyatt. Likewise, actually, Mr. Wyatt, there you are. You both look over to find a woman approaching with a grin on her face. You instantly recognize her from Kevin's performance as one of the backup singers, Zoe. She bows in greeting, looking back up at Wyatt while practically bouncing with joy. Thank you so much for showing up today. We couldn't have done all this without your help. We raised enough to meet several of our major funding goals. We're so grateful for you for organizing this venue and everything else for us. Wyatt turns to Zoe with a small smile on his lips.
oh.
There's no need to thank me. Valerie was the one that initiated this plan as a pet project. But still, we couldn't have been able to fully afford all the equipment and everything without you two. I'd love to thank Miss Chantal too, but I can't find her. I'm sure she's around here somewhere. I sent her on a quick errand but haven't heard back so far. His eyes widen and he turns back to you. I'm sorry about that. We're in the middle of a conversation. Oh no, it's okay. You seem to have a lot going on, so it's no problem. Oh, geez, I'm sorry for cutting into your conversation like that. It's alright, Zoe. I need to find Valerie anyway. So why don't we go together? It was a pleasure talking to you, Yinny. I hope we can talk again sometime. Sure thing. It was nice meeting you. The two leave as Zoe continues to chat happily to a relatively quiet Wyatt. You look around noticing several theatre crew cleaning the venue. After all that energy, you find yourself a little grateful at the calm and quiet of things settling down for the day. You make a cursory glance around you though. Given how today's been, you expect another random encounter with someone else. Minutes pass by without anything new. You breathe out a small sigh of relief. Well, I guess that's it for today. Maybe it's time to head back to the inn to rest. You start your trek back while enjoying the sight of the sunset on the horizon and the calm waves gently washing up against the sand. Walking took a little longer than you thought, but thankfully the lovely weather made it pretty enjoyable. Just as you make it back to the inn's parking lot, you notice a familiar car parked by the front. When you get closer, you also notice Jean standing by the passenger side quietly talking to someone in the car. And to your surprise, you see Vince sitting in the passenger seat, looking a bit nervous as he bites his lip. Jean looks up when he hears your footsteps and smiles at you. Hey there, did you have a good day? I think so. I got to meet a lot of new faces today and see some interesting things. I hope you don't mind me asking, but is there trouble at the inn? I didn't expect to see you here in uniform. Did something happen at the inn? Jean shakes his head. No, nothing's happened at the inn, don't worry. If anything, Dante usually handles any problem with guests on his own before I get involved. I'm here because I want to check on you. I was driving Vince back home and figured I'd drop by really quick. You hear a small groan from the open windows. You look over and see Vince sinking into a seat with his hands over his face. Jean glances between you two, slowly raising a brow. He puts a hand on his hip and watches you with a curious twinkle in his eyes. Do you know each other? You glance back at Vince. He's staring right back at you, looking like a lost puppy. You want to answer for him to help out, but he heaves a heavy sigh and turns to Jean. Remember what you've been telling me for the past few days about doing the thing? Ah, okay, I see where this is going. Try doing it today. Try talking to more people. But I ended up talking about crabs eating dead bodies to Yinny, who was just trying to talk to me. So now I'm the goth weirdo that's obsessed with crabs. Not that either are bad things, crabs are great, being goth is cool too. Oh god, I'm doing it again. He mumbles an apology behind his hands. Jean snorts before reaching over to give Vince's shoulder a squeeze. Jean leans in closer, his expression softening. Hey, you did really well, I'm proud of you for trying. Aww. You watch Vince slowly drop his hands to reveal a small hopeful smile pulling at his lips. After they share a little moment together, Jean turns his attention back to you. How are the car repairs going? Both Kai and I have been busy and didn't get the chance to ask him. It's gonna take a while since we need a few days to even get the right parts of the car. Jean's handsome face scrunches into a frown and his shoulders slump with disappointment. I'm really sorry to hear about that. For what it's worth, I'll give you my number in case you need anything while you're stuck here. He pulls out a pen and notepad from his utility belt. Do all sharers just hand this out to anyone? It's my personal work phone. And I think it's always good to have at least one contact to help when you're stranded in some random town. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'd feel a bit better knowing you can contact me directly if you need to. Now that sounds kinda ominous. Should I be worried about anything going on in Brine Bay? Jean's eyes widen and he blinks in surprise at the question. He quickly shakes his head. No, it's a great town and fairly safe, I promise. I didn't mean to scare you like that, sorry. I just like to be careful. Never has to be vigilant, especially in my line of work. You nod as he tears the page and hands it to you. You glance down, reading his number scrawled on top with his name, Sheriff Gene Williams, right underneath. Actually, it doesn't have to be just me and your contacts. Vince has plenty of free time. If you ever need someone to hang out with, I think you'd be able to make it, right Vince? Gene turns to Vince, who rapidly looks between Gene and you like a deer caught in the headlights. He seems to consider it for a bit before he slowly nods. So should I give you my number or do you give me yours? He pulls out his phone from his pocket but nearly drops it with shaky hands. He murmurs something under his breath, making sure he has a firm grip on it this time. His awkwardness is pretty adorable. You definitely wouldn't mind hanging out with him if given the chance. How about I text you instead? He seems to prefer that idea as he quickly nods with a small thankful smile. Gene grins at your little interaction and straightens his back, looking content with his work. He writes down Vince's number with the name Vince Matador on another page before handing it to you. Well, I won't take up any more of your time. I just wanted to check on you before heading home for peace of mind. Again, if you need anything, feel free to call me or text me or Vince. Good night. I'll keep that in mind, thanks. Good night, you two. He circles around the car, getting back into the driver's side. The car starts up and Vince gives you a small wave as they drive away. Aww. You head into the inn, finding Dante hunched over his desk, tinkering away at something. He raises his head at your approaching footsteps, nodding when you smile at him. Hey, how was the exploring? It went pretty well. Met lots of people today. Plans have changed and I'll be staying here for at least a few more days. Sure thing. I have your card and file, so I'll just charge it until you check out. Stay as long as you need, the inn's not going anywhere. Great, thanks. I'll see you tomorrow then. Good night. He murmurs goodnight to you, already engrossed in whatever he was doing before. After a nice long shower, you get into a comfortable pair of pajamas, ready to settle in for the night. But before that, you pull out Andrew's drawing of your dog from your bag and tape it to the wall near your bed. I really did mean it when I say she'll look into pursuing art for a career. It's super cute and unique. When you're content with the placement, you pull the blankets out and hop into bed. You let out a content sigh at the way you sink into the mattress. Now that you're all cozy, you pull out your phone for your nightly bedtime scrolling. Instead of opening your usual apps, you pull up the contacts list. Today's show was eventful. Look at all these new contacts I have. I'd say the one that was the most memorable was... Vince. Your introduction to Vince was a little awkward, sure, but he doesn't seem like a bad guy. You can tell he's trying his best. Not everyone is built to be super sociable. But you think back on the interactions and notice how he's usually with someone who does most of the talking. Chris and Jean are looking out for him while initiating things. I wonder if that helps him or not in the long run. I'm a little worried they might be trying to hold his hand a little too much. You can definitely see that spark of confidence in Vince when he was excitedly explaining the diet of crabs. It was weird, sure, but also charming. It's clear that Vince can initiate things on his own. Hopefully he can explore that on his own sometime. You think back on how Jean and Vince interacted outside the inn. Their relationship definitely feels a bit different. You think it's heartwarming. Sure, Vince needed a little push, but it was really sweet to see how Jean supported him. He's there to cheer for Vince when he's trying his best. It's a heartwarming sight and they clearly care for each other. Vince may be a bit awkward, but you find that endearing and genuinely wouldn't mind meeting them again. You set your phone down, feeling a hint of excitement for the next few days. You got to meet quite a diverse cast, so who knows what might happen. With a content sigh, you succumb to sleep and drift into your dreams. And today is Sunday! Yay! The next day! Who should I talk to today? Beach has Wyatt, Dinah has Chris. I believe that's Dante? I think. Let's go. Birds chirp a cheerful tune in unison above your head as you drag your feet on the sidewalk. There's a few stray joggers across the street loudly chatting with each other as they go. You're not exactly bursting with energy like your surroundings, but you figure some fresh air sounded a lot better than tossing and turning in bed. So here you are, bleary-eyed but basking in a beautiful mild summer morning. Your wandering takes you to a lush green park that's surrounded by well-trimmed trees and bushes with blooming red flowers. Tempted by the sweet floral scent, you head inside the park. There might even be a bench to relax on while you take in the lovely coastal breeze. Oh, let me go, man. Or hearing Dante's strain yelling. Dante, you break into a sprint, panic rising in your chest. Is someone holding him hostage? Is he hurt? God, it's way too early to be a witness to a murder. Dante's sounds of struggles lead you to another part of the park. Just how big is this place? Oh, quit it, would you? His voice sounds loud and clear right in front of you. Without hesitation, you swing around the corner of a tall shrub, about to confront a potential crime scene. You freeze in place with one hand holding your phone, ready to call for help. Except, you're not quite sure what you're looking at. Dante's on the floor, laying on his stomach, grunting and swearing as he struggles against Jean. He's straddling Dante's legs, keeping his arms locked behind his back. Jean's back is facing you, so he hasn't noticed your heroic entrance. They look like they've been at this for a while, judging by their heaving chests and sweat-slicked limbs. Well, Jean's hair is thoroughly tousled with stray pieces of grass, and Dante is sticking up in wild angles. He helps and readjusts his hold on Dante.
Would it kill you to keep it down? People are gonna get the wrong idea.
Like me, I'm getting the wrong idea. Well, if your ass stopped holding me down, then I wouldn't have to yell. Jean shrugs, the muscles in his back flexing, clearly on display. Wait, what were you doing again? I won that round fair and square. If you give up, I'll let you go. As if. I'm not letting that head of yours get any bigger. And I guess we'll just have to stay like this until you do. Maybe then someone will come to your rescue if you ask nicely. Like hell I will. Weren't you the one that was worried about someone finding us and getting the wrong idea? And that's your cue. You inch forward with quiet, careful steps until you're close enough for them to hear you. Do you guys need some privacy? Not that you mind the view, but this is definitely something that should be on display at a public park. You snort as your shoulders shake with laughter. Am I interrupting something, guys? Do I need to give you some privacy? Jean jolts, instantly dropping his tight hold on Dante. His head whips around and his jaw slackens when your gaze meets his. He practically leaps off Dante, who flops onto the grass with a loud grunt. Jean clears his throat, frantically brushing the grass off his clothes and hair. He pulls at his clothes, trying to look presentable as he can while sweaty and worn out. Speaking of, you notice that Jean's out of uniform. The casual fit looks really good on him, especially since you can see all those muscles on display. Hehe. Yinny, hey, what brings you here early in the day? I couldn't sleep in anymore, so I decided to take a walk around town again. I happened to be right by the park when I heard Dante yelling, so I rushed over here to see if he needed help. Jean huffs and shakes his head. He crosses his arms over his chest, looking at you with a fond smirk on his lips. You know, I'm not sure if I should be more impressed or worried that you dove right into possible danger to help someone. Dante slowly drags himself off the floor with a low groan. Well, I sure am grateful as hell that you did. He stretches his arms high above his head while rolling his head from side to side. His back gives a loud pop and his arms drop with a sigh of relief. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a discount for the rest of your stay, just for saving me from this asshole. He trudges over and roughly elbows Jean's side. Jean rolls his eyes, but his smirk widens at Dante's scowl. Thanks for the crick in my neck, by the way. I'm really looking forward to working with that all day. Jean tugs his shirt up a bit to show off an impressive bruise growing near the right side of his hip. He also has a really nice set of abs, which totally isn't important right now. Yes, it is. Can I see? Really? I think we're even now, actually. You look back and forth between the two. So what are you two doing? I mean, aside from getting sweaty and rolling around in the grass together, it's just some morning calisthenics we do whenever we both have time. It's a good way to help stretch out our muscles and stay in shape. Just some morning calisthenics, my arse. You knocked me off my feet and held me like that for at least 5 minutes. He jabs a thumb at Jean, who rolls his eyes again at Dante's complaints. You're honestly surprised at Jean's behavior, considering his first impression. He seems to have his guard lowered around Dante and is more playful in comparison to his serious sheriff mode. This guy trains himself to stay in shape for his job. What I don't get is him dragging me out to do these training sessions with him. Well, I mean, to be fair, you look even bigger than he does. I do them because I'm not on the field all the time. It's good to keep a strong physique and sharp mind just in case. Oh yeah? What part of straddling someone and pinning them down is going to be used in your current fieldwork? Jean answers him with a bark of laughter and a shake of his head. You can't help wondering what these training sessions entail exactly. Can I join? Honestly, this looks kind of fun. Could I join? Two completely different reactions show up on the men's faces. Yeah, can I join? Can I be in between you both? Jean's eyes light up as he nods eagerly. Dante scowls as he mouths something to you and mimes his head getting cut off. Jean ignores him and steps closer to you. Your heart does a small flip at the bright smile that he gives you. At this distance, you can feel the warmth from his body and smell hints of several scents. It's mainly grass with something lightly sweet and tropical underneath. Maybe mango?
You don't have to ask me twice. I'll make sure to adjust the sets to match what you're comfortable with.
That's okay. I can take it. Dante scoffs and crosses his arms over his chest. What the hell was that offer for me? So before I make a workout plan, how's your level of physical activity usually? You offer Dante a shrug and wry smile when he makes an affronted noise at Jean. I'd say I'm moderately. I try when I can. Some weeks are just impossible for me, so I just work out whenever I do have time and energy. I get it, trust me. My schedule can be a bit sporadic at times, so I struggle on some days too. Don't be too hard on yourself for missing days. I've definitely had to give up a few because of my work. You watch as he steps away, stretches his arms in front of him, and after a few moments he releases them and starts to roll each shoulder. His movements show off the taut, coiled muscles in his arms and chest. He tilts his head and catches your curious gaze. Let's get some stretches in first. Trust me, your body will thank you tomorrow. Yeah, I don't want you to have a damn crick in your neck all day. Dante's casually leaning against a tree, arms crossed over his chest. Jean rolls his eyes, an amused smirk on his lips. Good point. Better safe than sorry. Great. I know some good yoga poses that really help. Oh, I bet you do. Downward dog. Once Jean deems you ready, he leads you into a few simple yoga poses. He's taking your level activity to heart, so you haven't felt uncomfortable at all. At the moment, you find yourself bent over with your legs straight and arms hanging in front of you. Jean looks over to check on you and smiles encouragingly. Okay, so from this half-hanging position, we'll go into a downward dog. Ready? Yep. As you follow Jean's instructions, a little idea pops into your head. Maybe this is a good chance to tease him. Who says you can't have a little fun with him? Emboldened by the idea, you stand back up and beckon Jean over with a wave. He raises a curious brow but walks over to you. I was wondering if you could teach me with a hands-on learning experience. It's my first time doing it in this position. To your delight, Jean's cheeks tinge a bright red at your suggestive wording. He clears his throat and rubs at the back of his neck.
Yeah, sure. I can help you.
Dante wolf whistles and Jean scowls over at him, ears reddening. Should I give you two some privacy now? Jean clears his throat again, turning his back to Dante.
Anyways, let me help you get into position. Is it okay if I touch you?
You nod, giving him a bright smile. He instructs you to return to the half hang and you feel gentle, hesitant hands on your hips. As he guides you into the proper stance, you hear Dante snickering. Jean's hands grow warmer but you keep quiet, deciding not to tease him too much. After a series of different stretches, you're feeling much more nimble now. Both of you straighten your backs ready for the actual exercises.
Okay, we're all warmed up. Let's...
Sheriff Williams! You look over to see a middle-aged woman standing near some bushes along the border of the park. She's standing awfully tense while wringing her hands. Sorry, why don't we take a break here? I'll be back as soon as I can. You nod and he jogs over to her. Dante appears next to you, giving you a worried frown. What's going on? Your guess is as good as mine. A few minutes later, Jean returns with a pinch to his brow.
I'm sorry, but I have to go. It's urgent business. But it's nothing I can't handle. Don't worry.
I'm really glad we got to hang out, Yinny. Let's try and make this a regular thing if we can while you're here. I'll see you around. You bet. I had a lot of fun too. The creases in his face smooth out minutely as he smiles softly at you. He waves goodbye to you and Dante before he takes off back to the woman. She leads him out of the park and you watch until his figure disappears around the corner. I know he said not to be worried, but what do you think he's gonna do? Dante huffs, putting a hand on his hip. Knowing him, probably something not under his job description again. Where should I go now? Where do we go? Who's here? Kai, Wyatt, Kevin, and Arthur at the bookstore. Let's go talk to Kai. I'm very intrigued by him. I like him. He's pretty. It's pretty unlikely that anything changed in the, what? Day and a half? Day and a half? Since Kai said you'd be sitting pretty in Bright Bay for an indeterminate amount of time. Left here by the whims of a rental company's willingness to do paperwork. But unlikely didn't mean impossible. As it turns out, the garage is about a hop, skip and step away from about anywhere in town. And before long, you see its plain exterior tucked between Bright Bay's colourful cityscape. The shutters are drawn high, but there aren't the telltale signs of cars being worked on or anyone around to work on them. Maybe everyone's out to lunch. Isn't it kind of a bad idea to leave it open like this though? Bang! Ow, ow, ow! Well, that's a familiar voice. One that sounds a lot more distressed than you remember, but... Kai? You sidestep an abandoned mechanic scraper and weave in between a pair of mobile tool racks. Kai doesn't answer, but the farther you make it inside, the louder you can hear him muttering more than his fair share of colourful expletives. By the time you find him, he's knelt to the floor, between a couch and a rolling cart, with one hand at the back of his head, while its opposite collects a wrench and a handful of nuts and bolts. A knitted blanket pulls at his feet, and judging from the multiple pillows, it's a pretty easy guess to make that you caught him red-handed during an afternoon snooze. Nap-handed? What the? Kai palms the floor, ostensibly to find another lug nut before he ends up at your shoes. He slowly looks up, eyes widening as he rockets to his feet. Hi!
Hey.
Hello! Only to bang his head into his cart. He sucks in air between his teeth as he manages a shy smile, still furiously rubbing at the back of his head before he finally rises to greet you. Hey, didn't realize anyone was gonna swing by, or I would've... You need something? Left something in the cart? Or did you miss me? Yeah. Kai teases, but any real charm is lost as he rubs the sleep out of one of his eyes at least. Yeah, exactly. How'd you guess? I've been told I have that effect on people. Oh, 100%. I don't know how anyone could resist. His eyebrows raise slightly, the corner of his lips curling into his cheek. Yeah? Yeah. Your dazzling personality and oil-stained hands are really doing it for me. No comments on my smile or the random tiny braid in my hair? Not unless you want them. I should treat Chris next time. Whatever he said to talk me up to you. Didn't have to. It was love at first sight. Oh, the blush. The way he blushes is so cute. Alright. Maybe let's relax a little. So he says, but he obviously isn't shying away from any attention on your part. So, what's up? Seriously. Couldn't find a casino around here, so I figured I'd try my luck with you. Any news of the car? He tosses his wrench and all the little bits and pieces he grabbed into the metal segmented tray with a clatter, watching only to make sure each thing landed in the right section. Yeah, your car broke down the wrong area. Nearest place to place slots would be at least 2 hours away. Then, as if to correct an assumption before it forms, he adds, my folks love going, concerts and whatever. But, nah. No movement from the rental or the dealer. I checked in this morning, but yeah, sorry. I know that's not what anyone wants to hear. From the look on his face, you would have thought that it was his car that broke down instead of yours. Well, it had been too much to hope for in the first place. But, hey, it's only been a day, so fingers crossed. Worst comes to worst, I'll go and make you a new alternator myself. Really? The wheels of his cart rumble as he drags it towards one of the cars. Sure, come back to me after I get a certificate and take a couple 100,000 classes. A rasp of a laugh escapes him, the mechanic peeking at you from the corner of his eye. There's almost a winking self-assurance that you either love or hate. Still legs scrape against concrete as he scoots closer to inspect the car's interior, gaze ebbing away again with the tide of his attention. He navigates around the prop rod, hiding himself in the shadow of the car hood. Warm brown eyes turn clinical as he recognizes its aging internals. You're briefly forgotten in the garage, along with his afternoon affair with couch cushions. Well, now what? You could always head into town. There had to be something happening, right? Or maybe the move was to head back to the inn. You planning on hanging out? Huh? Twirling a headless socket tool in hand, Kai's attention flows back to you. In the garage. There's something leading in his tone, almost as if he... Trying to go back to sleep, huh? I wouldn't really call it a sleep, more like a cat nap. An hour tops. That is not a cat nap. Knowing cats, a catnap is like 18 hours. He chuckles, picking through the various chrome heads piled into a disorganized tray before snapping one into the socket. Yeah, you caught me, if you are though. He pulls up another old stool from his side from a workbench, waving you over in an open invitation. With no obvious plans on the horizon, you settle down beside him. Almost as soon as you do, he leans over to the nearby work table and twists the knob of an old school radio until the speakers crackle to life. The two of you join in the middle of a chorus of an old song. Kai's unafraid to sing along once he finds the rhythm. His voice a rough and uneasy thing. Joining in the melody is the ch-ch-ch of the socket, and the creaking of an old chair as he leans forward, the toe of his boot scraping against the ground. What have you been up to since I last saw you? You mean the last day and a half? Mm-hmm. Did you know Dante and Jean wrestle in the park? I guess I've always wondered how Dante stays fit, considering. Considering what? I mean, I usually see him at the inn and not much else. Figured he must have been hitting the weights there, but you didn't even have a gym, I think. Nope, but Jean won. Yeah, I bet money on that happening. What about you? Not much. Pretty much came back to the garage after I dropped you off, worked, fell asleep, got up, worked, and then you woke me up. Well, his eyes flicked to the side with the tiniest twinge of guilt crossing his features. The floor woke me up after I fell off the couch. Deep in it, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not really a morning person. I could have gotten my way. I'd have gotten here about an hour ago. But the garage has got to open. None of our employees have the keys. He shrugs half-heartedly. Kai slowly slides off the chair, the sleeves of his jacket nearly getting caught on the seat's frayed and peeling surface before he turns his back towards you to kick a tray deeper beneath your car. Maybe I can slide on him. Who normally opens the garage then? My dad. Oh, right. Kai mentioned something about that last time you'd been here. He opens something and the smell of oil hits the air, acrid and burnt. I've been kinda bad about it. The whole on-time thing. Can you hold this for me? Without waiting, he hands over the tool he's been working with you, and quietly returns to the car. It's one of at least 2 others, not including yours, in the garage, in addition to a motorcycle. Both vehicles sit propped open, though the second sits locked onto a lowered lift. Now that you're getting a chance to look at the place, it was kinda tiny. It couldn't have held more than another car at most. Maybe that wasn't a problem, for a place as small as you've been led to believe as Brian Bay was. You watch as Kai methodically moves around it, searching for something before he gets up and walks past you and his car to disappear into the bright red cabinets nearby. So, are you sure that you're okay? Kai chuckles. He doesn't move his hands, but he tips his hand forward. You're free to check. Didn't think it was so hard to fall that I make you worry, but I don't hate the attention. Yeah, I bet you don't. He makes a point of pushing his hair aside with the back of his hand, head canting to the side as if he was bearing his throat to you. A bead of sweat traces the curve. Yeah, looks good. So, you get a lot of business from the rental company. Would you be surprised if I said yes? It's called bargain wheels for a reason. Not exactly in great shape all the time, but I guess statistically, they've got to be decent, but, dunno. Most of the fixes aren't bad. Flat tires, busted up bumpers, empty gas tanks, jumping a car sometimes. Most rentals are new, but I guess you got a lemon. Aw, just my luck. So, them's the breaks. Yep. My mom's convinced she's a comedic genius. I guess my dad was gonna call it you an auto shop, but one search online and tell me if we'd stand out and get any business. So yeah, them's the breaks. Technically it's them's the breaks Newman and Son Auto Shop, but it's kind of a mouthful. I'm sure you're a mouthful. Still gonna say it when we answer the phone though. Do you always work on multiple cars at once? Depends on what I'm doing. Wouldn't even try if it's something as serious as what's going on with your car, but an oil change, tune-up, yeah. He jerks his chin in the direction of the vehicle on the lift. Both of our guys are actually working on these ones. I'm supposed to be working on the bike, but they're kind of behind since I came in late. It's fine. It'll all get done eventually, and everyone kind of assumes it'll be a while before they get them back. He reads through a drawer, and you hear the clattering of its contents. At the far wall, you spy a handful of what you only assume are family photos. His parents and a dark-haired Kai that looks unfamiliar to you as he'd been yesterday, an entirely new stranger. He returns to the car, with a bottle of synthetic oil in his knee-gloved hands, and not before jokingly bumping his knees into yours as if to tell you to move. Kai volunteers the next question as he removes a handful of other parts, and places them aside into another rolling cart. He drags it over with his foot too. Where you headed after this? Probably to figure out dinner. Yeah, but that's not what I meant. I meant where you headed to before your car broke down. I was guessing maybe to a city or 2 over, but couldn't really place you. Oh, I was gonna visit my family. My parents are about 600 miles from campus. I had about 6 hours left before I got here. And you driven for... About 3? You're insane. What? How? You couldn't get me to sit in the car for 9 hours, never mind driving it. Yeah, it's not my idea of a good time either. Yeah, I mean your leg cramps at some point. Guess you could say that walking too. Walking, that'd be what, 3 days? He sighs, watching as the oil starts to drip out of the car and onto the pan before returning to his stool. So you didn't drive? I didn't say that. I take my car out every now and then, but... He removes the glove to scratch his nose before pulling it back on again. Mostly just to make sure it's running well. Nothing's getting stagnant, and everything works the way it's supposed to. I hardly ever drive out of town. Maybe I should. Not much of a travel guy. Don't really know what to say. Maybe I'd go more if I had a motorcycle or something. Aren't the statistics, you know, worse? Yeah, but they're cooler. Kind of outweighs it. Kai! His head snaps to attention as another man's voice carries from the entrance to where the 2 of you sit in the garage. Kai shouts back louder than you thought possible. Yeah, I'm back. You can take your lunch now, man. I already did. He's apologetic when he turns his attention back to you. His smile a little weaker. Guess I'm back, so it's about to get real crowded and sweaty here real fast. Probably time to head out. Kai offers you a hand to take, but pauses when he remembers at the last second he's still wearing oil-slick gloves. Popping it off and tucking it underarm, Kai helps you step down without much trouble. The walk to the shutters isn't long, and Kai says his goodbye with a casual lean against a low-painted black frame. Hope hanging out at least kinda made the walk worth it. Yeah, it was pretty fun hanging out. Yeah, next time we'll actually go do something fun. Promise. As you wave goodbye, you pass by an older man who nods in your direction. Must be one of the mechanics. You don't get farther than a few steps from the garage before... Was that your girlfriend? Ah, shut up, man, no. I thought she looked too good for you. You got new bedhead, by the way. Ah, shit. He's so cute. Where do I go now? Kevin's at the diner. Chris is at the park. Arthur's at the bookstore. And Kai's at the arcade. And I believe Vince is at the beach. Let's go. Waves comb through the sand, unearthing shells and stones and the occasional hermit crab that's tunneled too closely to the surface. There, out on the horizon, is the sun. Streaks of red and yellow pull like a thread through a too big sky. Clouds soaking in the light and darkening like cotton candy. It really was worth the wait. How many times have you actually watched the sunset? Between classes and homework and friends and everything else? It wasn't often you stopped to look up. There are always too many things going on, but you got plenty of time now. More than enough to spend an hour or two watching the shoreline. While most people are departing the beach for the day, you kick off your shoes and take your first few steps onto the sand. Still warm from a day of cooking in the summer sun. You don't walk for very long before you see a nice flat rock in the distance. Stone juts out from the shoreline, slick with seawater, and on top you think you see a body. That or is a giant starfish. As you make your way over to the edge of the beach, toes dug deep into the wet sand. The distinctly human-shaped moves and you realize it's that guy from the diner. Not Chris. That's a totally different guy. It's Vince. Sprawled out in the sun, as happy or not as nervous as you've seen him. He rolls over onto his stomach, arms and legs outstretched as he basks in the last dregs of sunshine. He has the tiniest little shimmy as he arches his back, opens his eyes, sees you, and then... just about freezes in place. It took him a little while to warm up the last time he saw him. Maybe it'll happen again this time if he isn't feeling mortified enough to bolt right away. When you don't speak up, Vince looks down. Suddenly, interested in whatever little specks he's discovered in the rock trap beneath him. For a while, the only sound that you hear is the waves washing up against the shore, and the faint ringing of a bell from the pier. Hi. Hey yourself. Hay's for horses. He's so cute. Almost as soon as he opens his mouth to say it, he snaps it shut. Vince swiftly turns his head away, the tips of his ear blush pink. You're right, I'm more of a free-range grass-fed human myself. You? His head tips down and you catch the barest puff of laughter. Yeah, me too. Weather's, nice. Vince rolls over onto his side, curling up to take as little space as he can. He offers a seat with the wave of his hand, offering implicit permission to encroach on the prime beach real estate for now. Oh.
Should we can switch? I can sit on the ground and you can sit up here. You shouldn't have to excavate sand from everywhere.
I like doing that. Oh. No, it's cool. I appreciate the consideration, though. Sure, no biggie. You plop down on the edge closest to land. Another beat passes, and then as the two of you watch the evening setting in, not too far away you hear the sound of an air conditioner cutting short and storefronts jingling as their owners exit. Lights go off one after the other. The seagulls still caw overhead, and you watch as one skillfully dives into the ocean to retrieve its dinner. Pinch in its beak is what you realize might be a little crab. But as you start to point to it, you realize that Vince has turned away from you, staring out at the water. Evidently, he isn't really interested in small talk. It wasn't as though he'd given anything but that impression when you met him. But did he invite you to sit with him? He did also mention that he was trying to get better at talking to people. No big deal, you didn't have to talk to hang out. Besides, if he came up with something that he wanted to talk about, then he could bring it up. And the two of you could talk about anything under the sun. Speaking of, maybe I should start thinking about dinner. It wasn't quite the hour yet, the afternoon's still crawling by, but you had to consider your possible options. There was a diner, sure. But there was a restaurant out on the pier, and maybe a few other fast casual places along the beach that might still be open. You might have to check after... hypothetically. Yes, Vince sat sometime, while you were thinking about your plans for the rest of the day. His placid expression warming just a fraction. Look at how cute this little crab is.
If you were frozen for 100 years, what would be the first thing you ask?
Vince is sheepish, his lips pressed together as he worries little crescents into his fingertips with his nails. It's an odd question, but it's obvious on his face that he knows that. Well? Knock knock? Who's there? Scold. Scold? Scold in here. Vince laughs, the sound of it shaking his thin frame down to its core as his arms cross over his chest. Hands secured about his elbows, as if it's the only thing keeping him afloat. Can I ask you another question? Shoot. You watch as he fiddles with the sleeves of his hoodie. You hadn't thought about it until just now, but isn't it summer? It's chillier near the beach, sure, but is it really cold enough to need a jacket? Actually, he had the same jacket last time you saw him, too. If you're a rock, what kind of rock would you want to be? Could be a cool fossil, maybe. That's pretty morbid. So, I so don't want to hear that from you. He rolls his eyes, idly scratching his nail into the stone before he chimes in again. Still a pretty cool fun fact. The crab thing from yesterday. Okay, then... Hold on. He rocks back in his seat, head tipping down as he tries to refigure out how to position his legs. His ankles all but hover over the edge now, the cuffs of his jeans caught on the stone. It puts him a little closer, and it feels like your makeshift bench is suddenly too small. Can I ask a question? Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, didn't realize I was going on and on. Is Vince short for anything? Dunno. What do you mean by you don't know? He scratches at his arm, nails scraping across skin as Vince crosses one leg over the other. I mean, I do know. I, panicked. It's short for Vincent. My favorite name? No one really calls me that, so I don't know. Probably more when I was a kid, just not as much anymore. I forget sometimes. What's your favorite color? That's your big question. It's important. He taps his chin, nails rattling away as if it's a drum instead of his face. I haven't thought about it since like the 2nd grade, I guess. Black? Grey? Yeah, I can tell from everything you're wearing. Fine. It's red then. Wasn't that 2 questions? Who's counting? Me, obviously. He snickers, pausing only to look back over his shoulder before he settles his hand behind him. Something about the beach seems to put him at ease when you compare the vision of him in the diner and Jean's patrol car to now. He was fidgeting back then, pinched like a door hinge. By comparison out here, Vince looks like he belongs. Is it easier now? He tips his head in your direction, his hands fidgeting with the longer strands of his hair that fell out of the careless bun. What is? Talking with me. What? Oh, yeah. Sorry. For what? The 20 questions or whatever. You only asked 2, remember?
Yeah? Well, who's counting?
Wow, look at him, dishing it back. Oh, I want him so bad. His voice turns teasing, clearly pleased to lob your own words back at you. It's no big deal. I was just wondering why you're asking them. Most people start with a, hi, how are you? And not a, what is your darkest secret? I did not ask that. I try to ask questions so people kind of naturally fill the space, conversation-wise. He nervously touches the back of his neck. Vince suddenly unable to look at anything but the open sky that you both share. People like talking and I'm not good at it, so I keep the... With the same hand, he gestures vaguely at nothing, as if that explains what he means. Is it that you don't like to? Or that you just don't know what to say? Both, kind of?
I just haven't in a long time. So, you know, it's like a muscle and whatever.
Don't use it, then you suck at it. Like, you get it, right? Yeah, it can be pretty hard sometimes. Yeah, it isn't like I don't want to be around people. I just don't have to, you know, but people take it as me just being like, rude. You and me, that was cool though. Getting to know you, it's nice. Having someone to talk to you that isn't my housemate. Or the delivery guys. He runs his index finger across the top of his knee, the dark denim of his jeans tugging slightly. It's nice getting to know you too. Maybe we should really play 20 questions next time. Maybe. I was blacking out trying to think of like even 2 questions. Kinda glad you asked them instead so I didn't have to. They don't have to all be groundbreaking. They're cooler if they are though. More interesting answers than like, what's your favorite toast? Do you have one? No, I think. That, I think, inspires confidence. Yeah, I'll try to think of an answer for next time. So he says. But at least he's a little entertained. He's not very good at hiding his emotions. I need to head out and make dinner, but maybe next time you can just come over. To your house. What? What? Hell no. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just giving you crap, man. Oh. Then, you know, next time you see me, you can say hi, or I guess I can too, if you're cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Alright, I'll, make like a wave and whoosh.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh, I love him. You watch as he goes with a wiggle of his arm, slowly sliding off the rock before retreating from the beach. His shoes dangling on his fingertips as he kicks up Sam with a clumsy abandon. It doesn't take long before you decide to follow suit, heading off of the beach and towards the town square in search of your last meal of the day. Turns out the sunset isn't the only thing around that's well worth the wait. The door closes behind you with a soft click. After a long eventful day, you wrap things up with a nice hot shower and then get into some fresh pajamas. As you shake your head towards the bed, you can't help but let out a small laugh and shake your head when memories of today flash through your mind. There isn't a dull moment around here, huh? You plug your phone in before you pull the covers back and flop onto the comfortable mattress. Alright, time to settle in for my nightly scrolling. Let's see. Lulu. Oh, that's cute. Don't recommend moving right after waking up. This is a reminder for all those who have little escape artists as pets. Please make sure you keep your doors closed when grabbing your mail. Who the hell came up with the Limber fandom name? Hate? So cute. Thanks everyone who showed up for the anniversary event today. Aww. Anyone want to join my super cool chat server? Oh, I love all the references to all the other different devs. Allergies 1, me 0. It's Zeno. Telekinesis practice is finally paying off. My dog floats now. No internet in caves. So I'm probably gonna go off the grid for a while. Probably not gonna die horribly, wish me luck. An ode to pickles, crunch. How about a bet? Seeing so many people in the flesh really made me realize how many people are out there supporting me. Aww. Things are often chopped and cooked before they're served and ate. If I see one more pickle, murder on the wall, who's the most grotesque boy of them all? Is that Ronan? Hey, I'm like Cute Cat Cafe, use my code to join me and share rewards. Oh, I am Vince. Please help me beat the Mega Cat. Please help me beat the Dark Lord. I didn't mean to post that. Dot. He's so cute. He's so cute. The words and colors begin to blur on the screen, and your eyelids start to droop like they're held down by heavy weights. I think I can finally sleep. With a sleepy press of a button, your phone screen turns black and you limply plop it beside your pillow. Your eyes shut as the soothing sounds of the beach from the slightly open window lull you to sleep. Off to the dream world you go, preparing you for another eventful day tomorrow. And today is Monday. Who should I talk to today? Let's see, who's awake at this hour? We got Wyatt, Arthur, and Vince. Well, Vince it is. Since we are chasing after him, it's so quiet in Bryan Bay in the morning that you think you could hear a pin drop anywhere. For a town this small, you would have thought there'd be a chorus of good mornings and hey to people as they pass one another by. But maybe that kind of thing only happens in movies. It'd be more interesting if there was some beachy rock anthem as a backdrop. As you approach the center of town, the pulse of its sleepy denizens picks up, and you hear the sweet crooning of a street performer, strumming and singing along to some song you swear you heard on the top 40s the other day. Beside him is his harmonic complement, buzzing away on a harmonica for a jazzy interlude. You toss some change into an open guitar case. Maybe you'd hang out and listen for a while. They're good, but not good enough for you to stay all morning. Toss some change into an open guitar case. And a worthy performance deserves a worthy... You dig out whatever loose dollars and coins you have in your pockets. $3.22 to toss into the case as not. The stars of the morning hour offer small smiles as your reward. You step aside to make room for passerbys on the boardwalk, some of whom likewise toss a coin or two to their dutiful buskers. Maybe you'd hang out and listen for a while. It isn't as if you had anything to do this morning. The music is nice, and the weather's pleasant enough. There are still some vendors sticking around after yesterday's event. Maybe you could go grab a coffee or something to snack on and hang out until the set's done, or until you figure out something else to do. As you start to search for somewhere to enjoy the music, you find the slow swaying figure of a man that acts more like a metronome than a person. Vince's attention fixes on the musicians at play, fingertips tapping idly at the tops of his knees, offbeat for a second until he finds the rhythm. Aww. He's murmuring something to him, tap tap tapping against his dark jeans. As he tips his head up, about to let loose a note, he catches your gaze instead. That sunny expression of his giving way to its usual cloudiness. His lips seal, and Vince is suddenly all sharp angles, fingers tenting when they rest, as though he's forgotten how to relax the joints in his hands. His voice is a little higher than it usually is, and he interrupts himself with a cough into his hand. Vince slumps forward again, headphones swinging as he does. Hey, how long were you? He loops his fingers through the air as if gesturing to the entire plaza. I didn't say anything if you didn't want me to. Oh, great, so you saw the whole thing. Already forgotten, I don't even have eyes. He smiles quietly as he allows his arms to drop into his lap. Glad we're on the same page. Mind if I? You gesture towards the seat beside him. He shakes his hand, making room for you and your things. He draws into himself and the two of you share in the unquiet of the town square. He's so shy and cute. Mark my words, Vince, I will make you mine. Behind you, the water of the fountain babbles a beat off from the performers, who have since changed keys from pop songs to an unfamiliar ballad. Oh, that one doesn't turn to look at you, but you watch as he turns a head towards the sky. Digits moving along what you can only assume is the neck of an invisible instrument. That song, they played it before, but it sounded different the last time. How can you tell? He shrugs non-committally, as if that's a fine substitute for an answer. But you listen with him as he searches for the words, and you try to pick out what's unique about the melody. I hear them all the time when I, come through. I think they're trying for original songs now instead of covers, but people don't really stop to listen to them as often. True to his word, you notice some of the listeners have dispersed, but you lend your ears to the chorus to try and hear what Vince listens for. It's a light, breezy song, but you don't think it's eclectic enough to never make it to the radio. What does it sound like to you? Asked you first. His gaze is expectant, attention firmly placed on you in a change of pace from the usual. Where Vince normally searches for any reason not to see you, he wants an answer though. What is it? You can't say that you don't know. It sounds like... I asked you second. Yeah? The conversation tapers off. Had it really been that bad of a joke? You thought it was pretty harmless, but maybe Vince just doesn't know what to do with it. The song continues on, and the two of you listen in contemplative silence as Vince muddles his way through each successive note. Against his better judgment, you catch him swaying in the corner of your eye, his fingers press against imaginary strings. With a furrowed brow, you watch as his concentration only furthers until he hits a sour note. I think it's that one. I didn't realize he had perfect pitch. His shoulders draw in and Vince glances in your direction. His hands instinctively go to the back of his neck, as if it does anything to hide the embarrassment. Did I scare him? I don't. I just listen to a lot of music. Yeah, I can tell. He has his headphones nearly all the time. You had to imagine that he did spend a long time listening to it when he was going around by himself. What's wrong with what they're playing? You sounded like you had it all figured out. It's just, I think if they picked a different chord, it might resonate better. It just sounds like they're trying to get away from the folk pop vibe they have, but it's boring. It's more pop trash. Not that there's nothing wrong with people liking pop music and whatever, but it didn't sound the way it should. This one sounds right. Gene likes that kind of thing, but it's... He waves it off with a hand dismissively. It's not for me. This kind of sound will work for him. Vince allows his words to fall away, lashes lowering a fraction as he returns his full attention to the performers again. The lead singer longingly mourns a relationship, wistful as she croons about how she's about to make another mistake. Sorry. For? I'm sounding pretentious, maybe. I sound like those dicks that say that every oldie is better or whatever. Nah. I just didn't know you cared so much about music. Besides, it's cool. Different from talking about lemons and limes, right? I didn't mind it then. Maybe this is the time you mind it. Well, I haven't gotten up yet, have I? He almost scoffs but relents, and hadn't given him any reason for pause before. He relaxes back into the seat, the fabric of his hoodie bunching up where he slouches. Yeah, because you like staring at me instead, right? What? No, I don't. He chuckles, very obviously convinced. Sure, you know who's playing right now? Okay, now you sound like an ass. Do you like this band? Name 10 of their albums. Definitely not the same thing. Have you tried talking to them? The band. Oh, what? No. It's just my opinion. I'm not a professional or anything, so it's not like I should tell them what to do. Or what they should sound like if that's what they want. It'd be kind of like telling a chef, hey, you should cook this better. Like, yeah, obviously, but you don't say it to someone's face. Vince worries little curves into the tips of his callous fingertips, burning them red. Maybe they'd like it. What do you mean? Like, maybe they'd appreciate it. You've been listening to them for a while. Well, yeah, you've been sitting next to me the whole time. Am I the only reason you're here? You know that isn't what I mean. You don't think it'd sound presumptuous or anything? Why would it? I'm just some guy. I've known them since they started, but that's kind of what it is. I don't know, I usually listen to more alt-rock. You hear the pause, the hitch of his breath as he considers his words. But you don't get to be picky about talent. You hear enough of a good thing and I know it's just good, you know? You end up liking it. He laughs, looking over at a group with the kind of fondness you'd imagine that he reserves only for people that he cares about. Kind and reverential, Vince grows characteristically quiet again, easing neatly into old habits as he listens. And the band switches to a different song. You don't recognize this one either. His brows furrow, the soft caramel of his eyes sharpening with a renewed interest as he starts to mumble something again. For all his worries, you wonder if he's considering it. It's obvious at a glance for you that he pays them careful attention. Not maybe just as a fan, but as someone who cares about the work that they're putting out. You don't have to push yourself if you don't want to. I didn't mean to sound like... Oh, no, you're fine. I get what you're saying. I was just thinking about how to say it without coming off the wrong way. It's kind of, like I said, maybe next time, after I've rehearsed it a bit or something. Sure. Maybe next time you'll feel readier. Yeah. Vince stares back at you, mouth half open as he tries to find words for what he wants to say, before settling on a contemplative silence. At first, you think you might have offended him, but he sits up. Words come one after another in that shy, ambling way that he always does. I need to go. Vince! But before you can stop him, Vince shoots up from his seat for the first time since he saw him and marches stiffly over to the performers. From here, you can see him fumbling for something in his back pocket. his wallet, as he comes to realize before he pulls out a bill or two. One performer startles, stopping playing altogether before they pick up the melody again to finish out the song. Vince nearly manages to step away, but one of the others not playing anything in this part of the song from what you can tell catches him before he does. What's he doing? And they push the money back into his hands, but Vince insists in turn before starting to gesticulate with all the fervor of a professor in front of a lecture hall. At some point, the conversation calms, or at least looks like it does, from where you're sitting. With another few exchanged words, he returns to you, grimmer than he looked before. Vince drops back down to the bench with an audible, "Ugh, that was awful." "Really? It was that bad? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have..." No. He sits up, tucking his arms back into himself as a nervous leg shakes the metal frame trapped beneath you both. You can practically feel the wood vibrating. Oh, he's so nervous. They were nice. Really, they were nice about it. It's like what you said, they didn't tell me to keep my opinions to myself or anything, and they recognized me. Yeah? Yeah. He laughs, breathless and light, a stitch in his chest as he looks at you. It's kinda nice. It's like when you're being recognized at restaurants or whatever, almost like a regular, just with ears. And did they like what your ears had to say? That makes... Yeah, they were cool about it. They said they want to talk more, and maybe we could play together or something. His lips seal into a tight-lipped seam, and the bench shakes all the more violently. I literally haven't played with anyone in ages. Shit, I mean, man, maybe I've got to go home. I don't know, practice now? He trails off, but his nerves look fit to settle, and Vince allows for a slow sigh to be drawn out of him. It's nice, doing something new, talking to someone new. He smiles gratefully, and maybe a beat too long after the musicians pack away their things. And Vince has already excused himself for the afternoon. Do you realize that he meant you were included in the niceness of having a change? Where do I go now? Can I find Vince again, or is he at home? Let's go to the diner and talk to Chris, because we haven't talked to Chris in a while. You reach the entrance of Cup of Joe Mama's. Your empty stomach in desperate need for a hot meal. That's what you get for skipping breakfast today. A weak shove to the door brings you inside, where you're instantly assaulted with a cacophony of chatter, clinking plates and sizzling pans. The place is packed with patrons, some larger groups squeezed into booths while singles are pressed shoulder to shoulder at the counter. Holy shit! You spot Chris zipping back and forth across the diner floor like a blurry bolt of strawberry blonde lightning. He expertly balances a tower of plates in one hand while serving drinks with the other. Another server speeds past him, with a tray full of freshly griddled pancakes and various brunch fare. She quickly serves them before dashing to another table. "Order up for table 5! The cook's cheery voice rings loudly amongst the noise by the service window. Her hair clings to her forehead, and she still beams at Chris when he approaches, empty tray in hand. It's an all-out war zone, leaving the staff clearly outnumbered. You glance over and blink at the daunting parlor to-go orders by the entrance. I've seen lunch rushes before, but this is rough. I wonder how they handle it every day. Ugh. A long drawn-out sigh comes from beside you, and you look over to find a man standing a few feet away, tapping his foot impatiently. The frown on his face deepens, and he shakes his head, muttering something to himself under his breath. Shouldn't have gotten out of bed today. He leans against the wall, idly playing with the "please wait to be seated" sign with one hand, rocking it back and forth. Chris quickly approaches you both, slightly out of breath, and maintaining that still warm, bright smile. He tilts his head towards you before offering the man an apologetic look. "Thank you for waiting. I'm sorry, sir, but our last table is taken. It'll be a bit of a wait for one, if that's okay." The man grumbles, glancing between the crowded diner and the phone in his hand. "Maybe I should take my chances at the beach instead, but I don't want to stand out in the sun if there's a line 2. Chris? Got that side of hash browns with table 2. Oh, hello." Her face drops a bit as she approaches Chris with a plate in hand. At first, you're worried you might have offended her somehow, but you follow her line of sight towards the man. She seems to be wary of him, shuffling slightly closer to Chris. Despite the shift in her attitude, she manages an awkward smile. "That's weird. Is something up with the guy? I'm sorry you've been waiting long, sir. If you're in a hurry and still would like some of our delicious food, we also do to go." The man sighs, his frown smoothing out a bit and dropping his shoulders in defeat. "Maybe. It's just my luck that I finally got a break and it had to be during lunch rush." "Okay, it's not really their fault." "Okay, so bad luck, huh? Well, I've got just the thing." She hands the plate of hash browns to Chris and reaches for her apron pocket, pulling out a salt shaker. He stares curiously as she shakes a bit of salt into her palm before tossing it over her left shoulder. And just like that, all bad omens are gone. Come on, don't be shy. And it's super important that you throw it over your left. He blinks slowly, as if he's trying to process what just happened. A few awkward beats later, he extends into an open hand and she grins, shaking a good pinch of salt into it. She nods encouragingly, and he takes his hand back before doing a quick jerky toss over his shoulder. He gives her a wobbly, stiff smile, almost like he's unused to making the expression. "Nice. So how about I get your menu? We got everything you could possibly think of, sorta." "Sure, thanks." Chris clears his throat, gathering your attention back to him. He inclines his head towards the seating area with a menu tucked under an arm. You follow him, trying to subtly take glances over your shoulder at the stranger. Now that you think about it, he looks kind of familiar. Where have you seen him before? Is he a problem customer for you guys? Chris briefly turns his head to look at the man before shaking his hand. Not exactly. Xiang's situation is a little complicated. Chris slides the menu on the table in front of you as soon as you're seated. Anyways, sorry about the wait. Take your time looking at the menu and holler at me when you're good. Actually, what's up? What's up with Xiang? Sorry, I know you said it was tough to explain, but I can't help but wonder. Well, you know how he was told about his bad luck? I think it's a real thing. Now, I don't have concrete proof to back it up, and I'm not the superstitious type, but crazy things happen when he's around. Like what exactly? There was a fryer incident that one time, then the soda machine, the cash register. Oh, this all happened while he was here. Yeah, again, he's not a bad guy. In fact, he warned us about it in the first place. I don't believe in that sort of thing, but you never know. We'll be okay, I promise. Once lunch rush finishes, everything will slow down again. Things run like a well-oiled machine, even if it doesn't seem like it. Sierra is great with cooking and serving customers, and Marie, our part-timer, is quick on her feet. You spare a quick look over your shoulder and notice several more people waiting by the front for a table. Xiang's pointing at something on the menu, Sierra nodding as she jots it down. Marie speeds through the diner with ease, avoiding a kid standing in the middle of the floor while balancing a hefty stack of plates. Soon after, most of the diner's heads are lowered to chow down their food. Chris makes a cursory glance around to make sure and he breathes out a small sigh of relief. He looks exhausted. They all do. Chris laughs a soft laugh, his soft gaze directed at you. I can tell what you're thinking with that look on your face. We pride ourselves on being able to handle things, so it's fine, really. Okay, if you're sure. On the bright side, I guess having this kind of rush on a Monday is a good thing, right? Oh, definitely. Honestly, we owe our regulars big time for keeping our place afloat. Are most of your customers regulars? Yep, we got some folks from at least 2 generations back that have been coming here since my parents opened up Capo Joe Mama's. The diner isn't much of a historic landmark compared to other spots in Brighton Bay, but it's been a staple for the community. Honestly, after my dad got sick, I was worried about the future of this place, so I'm really glad to see it doing well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. Is he doing okay? Chris offers a small shrug and a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Yep, no worries, I've got everything under control. Anyways, A thunderous metallic thunk from the kitchen suddenly cuts him off and he startles. The noise attracts some curious and mildly concerned looks from several patrons as they look up from their tables. Sorry, let me go check that out. I'll be right back. He sprints over and through the staff door, leaving it swinging wildly back and forth. Muffled voices emerge from the kitchen window, but it's impossible to make anything out from where you're sitting. A few minutes pass before he comes back out, looking more haggard than earlier. He stops by each table, talking to them in a gentle, apologetic tone and bowing his head to every single one. By the time he makes it to the booth next to you, you notice several people shaking their heads as slipping out of the seats, leaving the diner with a huff. I'm terribly sorry, but our stove is completely out of commission, so all hot foods can't be prepared. But anything that doesn't need to be heated is still up for grabs. We've got a good assortment to choose from. He receives a few grumbles of displeasure and he bows again, offering another round of apologies. You're the last one left to break the bad news to, but as he straightens his back, he catches your gaze. You toss a thumbs up to him and he gives you a wry smile, mouthing, I'm sorry. You shake your hand and give him the okay hand sign. His shoulders slump with relief at your understanding, and he turns his back to you, making a beeline to an abandoned table. Even though a few tables have opened up, they're all a mess. A quick look at the front makes you wince at the sight of more people waiting in line now than when you were seated. Sierra greets them energetically, perhaps a bit too strongly, before she rushes to a dirty table with a cleaning rag. I know Chris told me they're used to this, but the kitchen malfunctioning on top of everything seems too much for the 3 of them. Is there something I can do to help? I feel like if I clean the tables, it kind of feels like I'm just overstepping, so I'll just offer encouragement. Instead of jumping onto the front lines, a spark of inspiration hits you, and you quickly sneak out of your seat towards the entrance. Posted right by the door is a whiteboard featuring the diner's daily specials in adorable handwriting. You find the marker beside it and pick a corner, being careful not to smudge the words nearby. And there we go, that should do it. You cap the marker with a proud click and stand back to admire your handiwork. Written in cutesy letters is a message that says, the Power Trio Chris, Sierra, and Marie are serving you this busy Monday. They're doing their absolute best, so let's cheer them on.
Oh.
What are you up to? Oh. Chris's head pops over your shoulder, reading the note you left for him and the other staff. He lets out a soft fun laugh when he finishes. That's really cute and sweet of you. I'll make sure Sierra and Marie get to see it too. Your heart flutters a bit when he lightly pats your back, his touch so warm and gentle it takes you by surprise. If you stumble once or twice as you make it back to your seat because of how flustered you are, no one sees it. Probably. You ultimately decide on ordering an ice cream sundae despite Chris's eye roll and him muttering how Kai is influencing you. It's a hot summer day and the stove isn't working, alright? You can hear your mum's scolding voice on the back of your head for making this your lunch. Chris! Marie pops her head out of the staff drawer and flags him down with a wave of her hand. I'm gonna run to the hardware store to see if they have the parts to fix the stove. Can you and Sierra handle things while I'm gone? Go ahead. Hopefully you can get patched so we can still serve dinner. Here's hoping. I'll be back in a bit. You watch as she flings the kitchen door open, rushing to the front with her apron rolled up in one hand. You finish up your sundae, feeling content with a stomach full of dairy and sugar. After your meal, you walk up to the counter to pay, blinking in surprise when you find Sierra and Chris standing across from Xiang, who's awkwardly rubbing the back of his neck. So I guess my order's been cancelled then. Yes, I'm really sorry. We're gonna try and get the stove fixed up, but in the meantime our kitchen can still sell cold dishes. That's not exactly what I'm in the mood for, but I'm sorry for, you know. Both Sierra and Chris immediately shake their heads and make noises of disagreement. Oh my god, don't apologize, it's totally fine. Yeah, I know you told us about your condition, but that's got nothing to do with this. This kitchen is being held up by a dream and some duct tape, so it's bound to happen. He shrugs and points his gaze towards his feet. I mean, if anything, it's not as bad as last time, right? The worst that can happen now is the produce spoiling. Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have jinxed it. Oh, don't worry about it, I'm sure it'll be fine, let me just... He reaches over to the wooden counter and gives it a solid 3 knocks. Xiang stares blankly at him as Sierra giggles and shakes her head. Chris shrugs, his lips curling into a sheepish smile. What? It doesn't hurt to be careful. You really shouldn't laugh, so you bite the inside of your cheek and press your lips shut. Seems like he is superstitious after all. Where should I go now? Is Vince around? There he is. The sun hangs low in the sky as the afternoon starts to give way, but the time of day has almost no bearing on you. Someone who has nowhere to be and nowhere to go. Actually, that kind of sounds depressing. Okay, correction. It means nothing to you, because you're someone who has all the time in the world to do whatever you feel like doing. Better. As you take another loop around the park for what feels like the umpteenth time, you search for anything different in the scenery. There's the same ducks waddling around, the same parents and their kids, and that's a fine set of shops over there. Well, you could always head back early and, who knows, take a break somewhere on the bench, scroll through your phone, call your family. Maybe you could bother Dante. He has to still be at the inn, right? As you round another corner, you finally see someone new. A monochromatic reintroduction to your eyes. One blissfully unaware Vince Matador. Vince! He startles, head jerking back and forth as he tries to figure out where your voice is coming from. It takes a little waving on your part before he realizes. His eyes widen, lips parted. Even as you make your way over, he holds still. You do your best to offer a reassuring smile. By now, you know to give Vince a wide enough berth to recover in a conversation. He panics less that way, though you aren't sure by how much. This is, taking much longer than it did the last few times though. He's certainly thinking about what to say. Is it just you, or is Vince that bad at hiding his expressions? It's kinda cute how he's scrunching his eyebrows together and chewing on his lips as if he'll land something profound. What's he gonna ask this time? Maybe another odd icebreaker, or maybe he'll just settle for a... Aye. He finally manages, nervousness only marginally subsiding as he goes from a deer caught in headlights to... deer caught in a forest. Sure. Hi? Yep. Uh-huh. His hands bowl into loose fists at his sides, arms swinging slightly so that they bounce against his legs like it's some kind of idle animation in a game. Didn't expect to see you here. I thought, it's not really a tourist spot, so... cool seeing you. With that, you watch as he immediately turns and starts to walk away. Hey! You don't really know what's going on here. Vince doesn't get far before he stops again, his back to you. He picks his way off the sidewalk, hovering somewhere between the grass and the playground. He sighs, which makes you feel real good about the fact that he fully left for 5 seconds. Sorry. For what? It's not that serious. Okay? I just wasn't... I didn't really expect anyone to talk to me, and you always you always end up talking to me. Oh, sorry for interrupting your me time? No, it's cool, I'm just... See, the weird part was that I literally thought about running away, which is worse. Am I really that scary? He pauses, shaking his head side to side, and you hear the bottles he's holding clink with more fervor. No, not really. It's not even that you did anything wrong, it's I just wasn't ready. Ready to have a conversation about the weather or whatever. We don't have to talk about the weather, we could talk about wind speeds. Do you normally talk about wind speeds with relative strangers? No, but I don't really think you have room to talk. Touché. Should I just leave you alone then? It doesn't feel too awesome to be intruding on someone's space if they don't want you there. It's this though that makes Vince finally turn to face you, apologetic in the way his worry softens into something closer to defeat. No, getting some mixed signals here. No, it's He drags his hand down his face, sighing as he allows his arm to fall back down to his side with a defeated slump of his shoulders. No, it's not my park or anything. We can hang out if you want. I'm just not really chatty right now or whatever. I'm alright if you're alright. Yeah, I'm alright. Cool. Cool. You wanna sit over there or something? He gestures towards the edge of the path. There's plenty of benches around, but pointing that out might actually make him go nuclear. Sure. So the two of you settle in. On the pavement, bikes whiz by you at a distance, and you listen to the idling chatter of, what are we doing tonight, between people busily deciding on things. Tension slowly but surely starts to leave Vince's shoulder as you sit together. His legs stretched out. He rocks his heels back and forth against the grass. You don't even notice when you start doing it too, but he does, since he changes things up soon after. What are you doing? Being a seal? He keeps his shoes connected to one another at the heel, then quietly knocks them together, before relaxing and bumping the tip of his sneaker against your shoe. He tries at something closer to a nervous smile, fidgeting with his hands. When that's not enough, he turns to rummage in his bag, producing 2 clear bottles filled with something pink. You watch as he sets them both in the space beside you, then digs around in his pockets for the telltale jingling of keys. Quick as he finds them, he pops the lid off one bottle, then the second. Vince offers one to you in a polite invitation. It's, rose lemonade. You don't have to take it if you don't want to. I do like rose-flavored things. Vince hands off the drink, condensation still slick on the glass as he does. With a clink, you both take a sip. It's slightly floral and bubbles on its way down, refreshingly tart. So, what was that you were out doing today, other than listening to music? Yeah, I was going on a snack run. Gotta watch a movie tonight. Oh, with Jean? Nah, by myself. There's a new one that just got onto streaming that I want to watch. Oh, what movie? You probably wouldn't like it. Hit me with it. Come on. It's one of those Criteria collection kinds. Black and white, super boring. You're really selling me on this movie, man. He snickers, slender digits curling at his mouth and the corners of his eyes winking with amusement. Yeah. I mean, it's probably cool or something. It's got old gothic horror energy. The makeup effects are pretty cool considering. Used to be on in his folks' house a lot. Jeans, I mean. You guys have known each other for that long? Yeah. I thought you'd have more questions about the fact his folks just played slashers all the time. No, yeah, I've got questions about that too. The secret's that we usually put a different movie inside the case when they weren't looking before we rented it. His mum used to freak out on us, but like, in a I'll jump scare you so bad you won't do it again kind of way. Jean broke a lamp once. Vince sets down his drink on the sidewalk to instead pluck at the grass and clovers underneath. The thought comes to mind that you might actually ask for more, but considering earlier, maybe it's better to not push it. Thinking about it now, you had plans before getting stuck in Bryan Bay. Most of your friends headed back home for the summer too, so you were gonna hang out. Now it feels like all that late night texting and frantic planning went to waste. Would your schedules line up again for another try? By comparison, everyone here always seems to have free time. You probably bumped into half the same people you met when you arrived by sheer chance. Thinking about something. You look like you were focused on something in a totally other place. What about you? Do you have an allergy to answering questions? I'm curious, Subi. Yeah, I was, thinking about what pairs are with the lemonade. I have 4 bottles of it now. Started thinking about other things too. If I made you uncomfortable or if this is boring, I felt bad because I was basically saying shut up and leave me alone earlier without really saying that, and it's kind of shitty of me, I guess. A fistful of grass scatters back around the ground, but he plucks another handful. I used to be fun. Don't tell me you used to actually smile. That seems kind of mean. I'll do it anyway. I smile now. I'm not saying it right now. You sound like an old man. Hey! You still be fun, It's not that you have no chance to. Yeah, no offense. Usually if you say no offense before you start saying something, I'm gonna be offended. So, no offense, but what happened? He dusts his hands free of dirt and turf, wiping them on the front of his jeans. It's kind of... There's being fun and then there's being too fun. You do some shit one night and that's a good time. Another night you do too much in the wrong way and it's less. It's kind of... I don't know. Safe for being boring, so I always kind of am. It sounds kind of self-deprecating and whatever. Sure, it's safer, but isn't choosing to do nothing worse? What do you mean? You're worried about going too off the rails, right? But you course-corrected that went in the complete opposite direction and do nothing now. Isn't that, I don't know, kind of a bummer? You could aim for moderation, right? It's not that easy. But have you tried? No. Vince becomes silent again, his eyelashes lowered a fraction as he considers what you said. He'd been pretty vague about it, so you can only guess at what he meant, but it sounds like he got into more trouble than it was worth when he was younger. Still, it's a little sad knowing he doesn't really think of himself as someone nice to be around. I like being around him. I think he's pretty, I enjoy his company, and his funny facts, and I think he's great. You've only had a few run-ins with him, but each one sticks in your mind. Vince was quiet, sure, but it was really only because he was trying to be thoughtful about what he said. Even if it didn't always come out that way. The bag wrestles again. Vince stands up, waiting until he has your attention to dip his head in the direction of the park's playground. Wanna go do something fun? Sure. He collects the bottles, picking up the bag too before leading the way towards the kids' swing set. Most of the families you saw earlier in the afternoon were gone now, leaving you and Vince full reign of a plastic kingdom. He sets everything aside, each item nestled in the wood chips before he settles a foot on one of the swings. The next follows swiftly after, his hands secured on the plastic-covered chain links, and his feet squarely planted on the swing. Can you push me? Sure, because this might as well happen today. You make your way over, steadying him before you start to draw the weight of the swing back and push as hard as you can, push as moderate. Let's do this one. Oh hell. Once he gets the momentum, you're able to let go and step aside, and Vince swings, hair caught in the wind, eyes turned towards the sky. The chains creak beneath his weight and the metal frame rattles with each swing. You good? Yeah, cool. I think I'm gonna jump. Wait, hold on. Jumping off of swings isn't anything new. Kids do it all the time, but Vince also is definitely not child-sized. Every time he swings past, you half expect him to hit his head on the frame. But before you can object, Vince goes flying. He makes it surprisingly far, stumbling once his feet hit the ground. His knees nearly buckle, but in the end he lands with his arms up in a V for victory. Vince turns towards you with a soft smile, breathless in his laughter. Ta-da! Fun? Yeah. So, what were you talking about earlier? Was the last time you had fun when you were 7, or...? He shrugs, making his way back over to you and securing his hand in one of the links. You gonna try? I can push this time. What the hell? Sure. He steadies the seat, offering a hand to help you climb up. His fingertips are callous when they brush against your palm. Vince smiles as your eyes remain turned to him, waiting until you're comfortable before he winds behind you to grab at the chains. I got you. You ready? Okay. 1, 2. He pulls you back with surprising strength, that you can hear as the puff of exertion comes out of a man that's not exercised in months as he does. When he lets you go, you rock forward, gaining a little speed. Okay, one more. Summer breezes past, and you glide through the air steadily as you stand. You expect him to push you again, but... Oh crap, I forgot I had ice... Oh no! He doesn't. And by the time you realize what's about to happen, Vince is on the ground. You hop down, stumbling as you try to help him up. Oh my god, are you okay? He's just laying there, laughing as loudly as you've ever heard him. Vince's eyes are closed, snorting in between fits of giggling as you pull on his arm. He's so cute. Yeah, fine. See, this is what I mean. Too much fun's dangerous. In the end, Vince doesn't get up, and you end up lying on the ground beside him so he isn't alone. You talk about whatever pops into his head, his anxiety abated. Literally, what could be more embarrassing than what just happened? For the time being, and when you get back to the inn later that night, you don't know how to begin explaining what happened at the park to Dante when he asked about the wood chips in your hair. Alright, time to settle in for my nightly scrolling. Let's see. Crow Nation. Reply I love you, Crow, and instantly gain 100 years of luck. Aina, in my sorcery era. Wyatt. It's Haruki! Salutame Haruki, I miss you. Beautiful morning was to browse local real estate. Wyatt. Vince. Help me defeat the Dark Lord in Lavenspear. Friend code V. Ew, it's a vice. I know you, loser. If you're open-minded, you should meet me in the deep realm. Yeah, I bet you'd like that, idiot. But yo, Lavender Studios was so sweet. They messaged me and asked if I wanted to include one of my characters in the little Twitter feed, and I was like, we should do this guy, because he's funny. I miss him though. Thanks to everyone's patience today. We'll get the kitchen up and running by tomorrow. Who the hell came up with the Limber Phantom name? Hate. Kai's special power meal before getting back to work. Hash browns. Another morning run done. The fitness grind stops for no one. Hypothetically, are they only allowed to guillotine you once? Asking for a friend. This post has been flagged for spamming. Chat, I did not do it. I'm not responsible. Hello, Miss Saki. Aww. The words and colors begin to blur on the screen, and your eyelids start to droop like they're held down by heavy weights. I think I can finally sleep. With a sleepy press of a button, your phone screen turns black and you limply plop it beside your pillow. Your eyes shut as the soothing sounds of the beach from the slightly open window lull you to sleep. Off to the dream world you go, preparing for another eventful day tomorrow. Today is Tuesday. I believe this is the last day in the demo. Who should I talk to today? Vince, are you around? I'm in love with you. There he is. Let's go. With Arthur as well? The trek to the bookstore isn't too far, but you can't help slowing down to admire the quiet, colourful streets. Art covers the walls on either side of you, featuring spray paint and chalk graffiti from local artists. There's posters taped in several spots, advertising community events, concerts and more. Just as you reach your destination, you come to a full stop when you see a familiar and very recognizable head of white hair. Vince is crouched down in front of the book hook's window, peering intently as he pokes at the glass with his finger. Okay, that's not strange at all. I wonder what he's up to. You slowly inch forward, unsure of how to greet him. Maybe you can slip past him or just try and approach him normally. Vince turns his head and instantly pins you down with his gaze. Ah, shit. Oh no, there go my choices. You walk towards him, acting casually as one can after getting caught sneaking up on someone. Hey Vince!
Oh, hey Yinny.
He goes quiet, leaving you two awkwardly staring at each other for a few seconds. He clears his throat, opting to turn back to whatever he's been staring at through the glass. Still not a fan of small talk, huh? Well, it's okay. What could be so interesting about— oh my god. You follow his line of sight and gasp softly at the cutest black cat on its back, stretching far to paw at Vince's finger. Pink toe beans pressed against the glass, trying valiantly to capture its prey. Bright round green eyes are transfixed on Vince, and you notice the fluffy tail playfully flicking back and forth. The faintest puff of laughter graces your ears, so you tear your gaze away to find Vince smiling, his expression light as air. Is this a friend of yours? Seems to really like you. Vince blinks, looking up at you like he forgot you were beside him.
Oh yeah, her name is Chipoki.
Do you come to visit her often?
Sorta. Chipoki's nice but pretty picky in who she interacts with.
Sounds like you two have a lot in common.
I'm not a cat though.
That's not the similarity I was thinking of, Vince.
Oh.
Silence slides in between you two again. He taps his finger in different spots along the window, watching intently as she follows, paws making cute little thumps against the glass. You have a bunch of questions floating around in your head, but something about this quaint quiet is so nice that you keep them to yourself. Vince laughs again, the sound just barely audible like he's holding himself back. Memories of his loud bright laughter as he lays on the park floor resurface. You'd do anything to hear that again. And Chipoki's tail is going full speed now, thwapping against her bed excitedly. Vince stares at her fondly, his chin propped up by his other hand. You can't help but admire how soft and comfortable Vince looks right now. Can I feel? Sure, you could ask about the details of how he knows her, how long he's been here and all that, but there's something about him looking so relaxed that makes you feel like you need to savor this. If anything, you really hope he'll show you more of the side of him to you eventually. Not that you're hoping you'd be the cause of his smile next time. Nope, I'll play with her as well. What are you doing just standing there? A cute cat is right in front of you. You lean over, placing a finger against the glass within Chipoki's view. She packs up, her little black nose twitching curiously. Vince quirks a brow at you before moving his finger. She turns to him, reaching over with a paw. Oh, so it's gonna be like that, huh? You're right, Matador. You draw a rapid zigzag line next to his hand and Chipoki's on you in an instant with both paws. Take that. He huffs, using his nail to tap a catchy rhythm. She swings back to him, eyes wide with joy. Not to be beat, you swipe your hand across, making a loud squeak against the glass. He quickly slides at the same time, and your fingertips land on top of Vince's. The shock of his cold but soft skin meeting your warmth, freezing you two in place. That is so cute. It's so 101 Dalmatians. Chipoki takes advantage of the pause and triumphantly plants both paws against you and Vince's palms. She's standing on her hind legs, meowing her victory. Vince is the first to pull away, coughing into his fist. The tips of his ears burn bright red, and you're pretty sure you're not faring any better.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Time flies, and soon enough, Chipoki tires out from chasing her prey. She yawns, curling into a cozy ball and even tucking her chin in. Her eyes slip shut, and her breathing slowly evens out as she falls asleep. The two of you watch her for a while longer. Vince eventually stands up, patting his knees.
We should go. She definitely needs the rest after all that playing.
I don't want to, but yeah, you're right. Vince snorts and shakes his head.
You really like her, huh?
How can you not?
True. I don't think anyone can resist her.
Yeah, even the crabs will play nice with her, I think. Vince's jaw drops as you quirk a brow at him. He groans, slapping a hand over his forehead.
Oh my god, I almost forgot about that.
I definitely didn't. It was a very memorable first impression. His cheeks tint pink, and he mutters something under his breath. As both of you turn and start to leave, you look back over at the sleeping cat at the bookstore. Do you have somewhere to be right now?
No, why?
The store should be open soon, so why not go in and actually pet her? She was literally begging for it earlier. Vince's shoulders tense and he shakes his head.
No, I'd have to prepare my heart for that first.
You seem comfortable playing with her just now. What's wrong?
It's complicated,
His breath hitches and he stops dead in his tracks. You screech to a halt and nearly run into his back. Hey, why did you— Your question trails off as you look past Vince's shoulders, finding Andrew standing there equally frozen in place with wide, startled eyes. Oh, good timing. Andrew can open up the store and— Wait, the two are still like statues, not making a single sound. You glance between them, confused to find Vince's face stricken with fear, anxiety. It's definitely different compared to how he normally reacts to strangers. You've seen him in action enough times to read his mood shifts. I know it's a small town, so maybe they know each other, but something feels off. There's a tension in the air that you're not sure what to do with. Oh no! Vince sharply inhales as if he forgot to breathe, the sound high and tight. Andrew stiffens further at the sound, his eyebrows knitting into what you think is a look of concern. And after that, nothing happens again. It's the most awkward standoff you've ever witnessed. Maybe I should try and do something. Greet Andrew. Morning, Andrew. You swoop in to the rescue, moving in front of Vince and waving enthusiastically to the redhead. Andrew snaps out of his shock, blinking and focusing his attention back on you. He forces an awkward laugh and rubs at the back of his neck.
Oh, morning, Yinny. Hello.
Thankfully, Vince seems to have recovered too, even as he continues to hide behind you. Are you opening up the shop now?
Oh, yeah, I just finished handling some business-related stuff.
Good timing then. We just finished playing with Chipoki. She's so cute. I don't know how you can leave her alone. Andrew huffs a soft, fun laugh. I always make sure to give her plenty of attention afterwards, don't worry. At the mention of his beloved kitty, Andrew looks over, where she opens her big green eyes. He stretches her legs out from beneath her and lets out a mighty yawn, showing off her pearly white fangs. Her gaze meets Andrew, and she blinks 3 times, slow and full of affection. He smiles brightly at her, his eyes crinkling adorably. She meows loudly in response, pressing those irresistible pink toe beans against glass.
That's my girl.
I know it wasn't meant for me, but it was still cute. Maybe I should stay. I want to give a pet so badly.
Yeah, just give me a second.
His smile drops a few degrees, and his brows furrow a bit. He continues staring at her, pointedly avoiding looking over at you and Vince.
Hey,
You know for a fact that wasn't directed at you. Not with the way Vince's breath hitches again. And you can feel the tension radiating off of him in waves.
I'm really glad she got to see you.
Andrew's voice shakes a bit, like he's struggling to hold back his emotions.
It might sound a little weird, but I told her about you, so she must have remembered.
Vince's eyes widen and he turns ever so slightly to look at Andrew.
Oh.
His mouth opens and closes several times, as a weak sound escapes his throat.
Sorry, I gotta go.
You try and turn to stop him when you hear the harsh squeak of his sneakers against the sidewalk. I wonder what happened. Vince! He speeds off, his panicked footsteps quickly falling out of earshot, and just like that he's gone. You glance between Andrew's stiff form and the empty space where Vince just was. Should you go after him or stay?
Wanna come inside?
Andrew unlocks the door, pulling it open with a gentle swing. Chipoki's quiet meow turns loud and excited as she hops off from her bed to greet you two. It's probably for the best that you give Vince some space, so you turn away from the street and head back inside the store. Yay, Chipoki! As you walk in, Chipoki weaves between your legs, butting her head against them. You bend over, giving her some much appreciated head and chin scratches before straightening your back to observe Andrew. He's lost in thought as he brushes a hand against the counter, jaw clenched and shoulders coiled tight. Seems like he and Vince have a history. Were they friends? No, that doesn't feel right. Enemies doesn't fit the bill either. Strangers make even less sense, especially with the way they both reacted to each other. Did they used to date? You're not exactly sure how to breach the topic. Andrew clears his throat, bringing your attention towards his hesitant face.
Sorry, did you wait for long?
What's up with you two? Andrew's expression darkens, his brows furrowing into a deep frown.
It's a long story. I didn't think you want to hear about all that.
Oh, chill out. I was just trying to ask.
Sorry, but I can't get into it right now. I had to take care of customers.
I'm the only one here.
Yeah, so is there anything I can help you with?
His response is clipped and borderline callous, leaving you speechless for a moment. Chipoki's ears flatten against her head and she skitters off, turning a corner into one of the shelf aisles. See, now you scared the cat. I guess not. His eyes flicker with guilt before he closes them in sighs.
Sorry.
Could you give me some space? I just need to clear my head.
The awkward tense air is practically suffocating. You wordlessly turn around and head straight for the door. So much for that. Where should I go now? Vince, are you around to be comforted? Nope, the only two who are around are Wyatt and Jean. You walk along the beach, breathing in the refreshing salty sea breeze. Seagulls cry high above your head while some others waddle across the sand. Alongside the birds are squads of tourists snapping photos of the picturesque scenery, sunbathing on the sand or wading into the ocean. Thankfully, it isn't too hot, so you're more than comfortable hanging outside instead of seeking shelter in a place with AC. Now the problem is, what should I do on such a nice summer afternoon? You could lay down and try and take in some sun, but it's a little too packed for your liking at the moment. A frustrated sigh leaves your mouth, and you continue to wander aimlessly while trying to figure out what to do. When all seems lost, two very familiar voices suddenly come into earshot.
I cannot believe you're laughing at me right now. What kind of a terrible man are you?
Hey,
Yeah, that's no way to talk to someone who treated you to lunch. We'll see if I ever do that for you again, you ungrateful prick.
Jean and Wyatt are in an intense conversation about, well, you're not sure, but that's up to you to find out. It's sort of shocking to hear Jean of all people snap like that. From what you see, he's a gentle giant that stops fights, not starts them. You follow their voices to the pier, finding the duo standing a few feet apart and glaring heatedly at each other. Hello guys, what's going on? Between them is a brutal crime scene splattered all over Wyatt's very expensive looking leather shoes. There's ketchup, mustard, relish and onions among the mess. Speaking of, the perpetrator rests in one of Wyatt's hands, completely bare except for a small blob of mustard clinging to the edge of the bun. Jean stares at the barren hot dog and then at the mess. His frustration quickly dissipates, shoulders shaking as he snickers at Wyatt, who looks equal parts faint and ready to wring the sheriff's neck.
Would you stop laughing at me? These are one-of-a-kind St. Raphael double monk strap shoes, you heathen. I have no idea what combination of those words mean, but hey, at least you didn't get on your white suit. And don't say I didn't warn you, I told you that was way too many toppings on one dog.
Okay, so it turns out they aren't arguing. And here I thought I was gonna get front row seats to a wrestling match between a posh businessman and the sheriff. Still, they're an interesting combo. I wonder how they know each other.
It just so happens that I usually eat this with a fork and knife, so I'm out of my element. I'm pretty damn sure you've only ever eaten these when you're with me.
Wyatt scoffs and delicately tries to balance the hot dog in his hands as he searches through his pockets with the other.
Oh,
He turns his head to the right, spotting you instantly. His pinched scowl smooths into a suave smile tinged with coy relief as he waves you over.
Good afternoon, Yinny. Please excuse the mess. You wouldn't happen to have any napkins on you by any chance?
Hey Wyatt, sorry I've got nothing.
Oh, please don't apologize. I'll get it sorted somehow. Just forget it, buddy. That stuff is never coming off. This isn't my first time with stubborn stains, my dear friend. I've cleaned wine off satin before. Nothing is impossible.
He flicks his hair over his shoulder and waltzes over to the hot dog stand, mustard smears and all. Gene rolls his eyes before turning his attention to you.
Hey, Yinny, we'll get out of your way once that guy cleans himself up, or at least tries to. Care to join us? I'll get you a hot dog and we can walk along the pier. I know you wouldn't get pissed at me buying you lunch, unlike someone.
You snort as he throws a scowl over his shoulder at Wyatt. That's a very tempting offer. We'll see once Wyatt gets his topping mishap cleared up. Both of you glance over to him, laughing softly at something the vendor said, giving the man a charming smile. He reaches out for the bundle of napkins the man hands him a few moments later, nodding his thanks.
You sure you don't want to reload on the toppings? It's free of charge. Thank you, but I'd rather not waste your supplies. I fear it'll end on the floor and myself again somehow.
As you watch the exchange, you look back at Gene, who rolls his eyes again at Wyatt. He notices your curious gaze, offering a casual shrug and smile.
So, if not for the tasty hot dogs, what brings you to the pier?
I heard you two fighting. We can't keep meeting like this, Sheriff. Every time I hear shouting, I find you at the scene of the crime. I was fully prepared to find you pinning Wyatt to the ground, actually. Gene laughs and shakes his head.
Don't worry, this is how we usually talk to each other.
Damn, really? I wonder how you two get along if you actually fought then.
Wyatt? Fighting? He'd rather stump away and sulk than go head to head.
I think anyone would when they're up against you, Mr. Taekwondo champ. I'll go head to head with you if you know what I mean.
Oh? You two seem to be having a wonderful conversation without me.
Wyatt approaches and shares a glance with Gene, who smacks in response.
You came back just in time. We were talking about you, actually.
The man scoffs at Gene and turns to you.
Please disregard everything he said. His trustworthiness is limited to his work and nothing else.
Hey,
I was just joking. Yes, I'm sure you weren't trying to ruin my reputation in front of Yinny. I know you all too well, Williams.
For all the bickering these two do, they seem close. But seeing the sheriff hanging out with a rich businessman doesn't quite make sense, so maybe you found yourself in between some official business. Actually, am I interrupting something here, guys? I can leave if you want. They both startle at your suggestion and quickly shake their heads.
No, it's nothing formal like that. We're just catching up. It's been a while. Yes, we saw each other fairly often in high school, but we've gone our separate ways since then. Our schedules are never quite matched up. But I happen to be on vacation and Gene is off duty today. So here we are. However, I would have preferred a different venue for lunch.
oh.
He sighs dramatically before taking an elegant bite of his food. It's the first time he's seen someone make a hot dog look like it's gourmet. You make one hell of an exciting duo. How long have you two known each other? Wyatt and Gene meet each other's gazes.
I'd say it's just short of 10 years, perhaps. Give or take, yeah, I stopped counting after a while.
To be honest, I'm surprised you two went to the same high school. I had Wyatt pinned as a boarding school type of guy.
That's what my parents wanted, but I chose otherwise. I have fond memories of this town growing up, so I opted for schooling here.
Just exactly what was his childhood like in Brian Bay to make him do that? You shelved the question for later.
Yeah, lucky me bumping into you back then. You should consider yourself as such, actually.
These two really like to go at each other, huh? And I'd sure like to go at both of them. That's my other question, actually. How did you two get acquainted? You two seem close.
We were both in the student council. I, of course, was the president, and Gene here was vice president. It was a triumphant 2 years, and we shaped quite the student body for the better under my guidance. We were quite the pair, you know? He's making that second part up. The most power we've had over everything was organizing prom.
You two seem close. They both make disgruntled faces at your observation.
We do. It's been a long time since we hung out. But I guess some things haven't changed since high school.
Well.
Except for your physique. Hey, I did offer you morning training sessions on the weekend to get into shape. And lose out on my much-needed beauty sleep? No thank you.
I mean, Wyatt's got the Dorito going. Gene scoffs as Wyatt takes another bite from his hot dog. Even if they say they aren't close, I'm getting a clearer picture now of how they were before. It's pretty funny to watch them interact. Honestly, We barely hung out together in the first place outside of student council meetings. The busier things got, the less we saw of each other, especially when senior year came around. But that's normal for everyone. We tend to drift apart from school and friends once we grow up. Wyatt nods, dabbing a napkin against his lips. I don't find it too depressing in the grand scheme of things. A familiar face to meet up with from time to time is more than enough for me. Same here. I feel bad enough as it is when I cancel plans with friends at the last minute whenever I get a call from work. If things don't go as planned, there's more time in the future. I guess that's one way to look at it. That's just how life is for us. We've gotten used to not talking to each other for months on end. It isn't all too bad, don't worry. I still manage to keep in contact through my assistant whenever I'm too busy to personally reply. Wyatt sighs and points at the half-eaten hot dog in Jean's hand. Anyways, enough about our younger days. You should finish your food before it goes completely cold. Trust me, I'll finish mine before you do. Yes, brag about your eating prowess in front of Yinny and make me look bad. Wyatt takes another bite and hums, lifting the dog up to eye level and inspects it. This is a real marvel though, the taste is exactly the same when I had it when we were teenagers.
Oh.
He heaves a deep sigh, placing a hand over his stomach. This is no longer a teenage boy's body and I'll most likely have indigestion in the next hour. You worry way too much about your digestion at your age. You're the only one I know that drinks probiotics every single day. I have started taking a probiotic, it's good for you. Excuse you, but it's never too early. Don't come crying to me when you develop gastrointestinal complications at 28. I don't eat this all the time, buddy. I started meal prepping after I became sheriff. And yet it's the first thing you propose we have for lunch. It's a guilty pleasure, right? No, this stuff isn't good for you and isn't the best, but it's nostalgic. The vendor sticks his head out of the stall at that, looking mildly insulted. Hey, I heard that, Sheriff Williams. Look, they're not, well, I don't know much about nutrition, but there's some veg on the menu. And you keep coming back, so it's gonna be good, I think. Defend the vendor. Hey, both of you came back here and are eating his food. I think that makes it pretty good then. The two men droop a bit like scolded puppies, and the vendor waves happily in your direction. Thanks, friend. Someone's got a good head on her shoulders. Jean and Wyatt look at one another before turning their attention to you, giving their best apologetic smiles. Yeah, he's right. I might have said all that, but it's still one of my favorite spots to stop by. Yes, even if I'm not the biggest aficionado of hot dogs, I can appreciate it with or without toppings. Wyatt quickly, elegantly finishes off his last bite and takes his phone out. He taps at the screen and sighs at whatever he sees. It seems I might have to go soon. You can leave now if it's a rush. I've got some grocery shopping I need to do anyways. They glance over at you as you snort and shake your head. You two really are always on the go, huh? Wyatt smirks and Jean shrugs. That's just how we are. I guess that's one of the reasons why we got along in the first place. I definitely wouldn't associate myself with someone who doesn't prioritize their responsibilities, so he has my respect in that high regard. Well, thanks, I was almost touched by that. Wyatt dramatically rolls his eyes while scrolling through his phone. Anyway, thankfully Valerie has it covered for the next 15 minutes, so it'll be fine to stay a bit longer. It'd be rude of me to leave Yinny so suddenly again. He turns and narrows his eyes at Jean. Next time, however, I'll be the one to pick our lunch venue. What day and time is good for you?
Huh?
Wait, what? I thought you were only making a quick stop at Brian Bay like usual. Well, things changed during planning. My schedule allowed me extra time this month, so Valerie and I have decided to extend my stay. I'll be here for at least another week, if the rest of this week is too busy for you. That's a surprise. I mean, I'm glad to hear that you're sticking around for longer. Please don't sound too happy about that. Would it kill you to stop being such a prick sometimes? Oh, but who else would dare speak to the sheriff like this? Jean scowls and Wyatt tucks his phone back into his pant pocket. But like I said, we should have time to meet again if you're not too busy. I'm sure I can find a day. Wonderful. If I can't get to your message, feel free to send one to Valerie and she'll notify me. Yeah. Who should I have take your messages, huh? My deputies are busy enough as it is. Jean tilts his head and locks eyes with you. Wyatt looks over as well until his face softens into a dashing smile. Jean's lips pull into a teasing smirk, and your heart flutters at the warmth in his and Wyatt's gazes. Maybe you can help me out with that, Yinny. It might be the afternoon sun bearing its full force down on you, but you're feeling awfully hot right now, sure? Your voice cracks slightly at the end, and both men laugh softly in response. I feel like Wyatt is really for the Elliot Stardew Valley lovers. I'm getting similar vibes. Where should I go now? Vince is here. This is Kai and Kevin. I'm gonna go to Vince. Oh, I love my shy white-haired man. So this might be a new low. Not because of anything particularly egregious in mind, but when you were thinking to yourself in the lobby of the Coral Inn about how your evening schedule was empty, you weren't expecting Dante to be the one to fill it. Not that he's even here. Dante didn't come out with you for this excursion to the shore, but he did give you a list of supplies that you need to bring back under threat of not having a tiny bottle of shampoo to shower with later. Well, that and a bunch of other things he apparently needs. A new hairbrush? Seriously, his hair straight up defies gravity. What does he need a hairbrush for? After reading it through,
You figured you could grab everything at that store on the boardwalk. Nearly everything in town was starting to close. As you make your way to the beach and hook a left to the wooden slats that line the path on the sand, you're immediately met with a monochromatic shock of a person. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Hey. With both of you taking a step back, it suddenly becomes clear who bumped into you. Vince swings back, lips parted to speak before he settles on shoving his hands into the pocket of his jacket instead. Hey yourself! Compared to when you saw him in the bookstore, Vince looks more at ease here. Between the change in scenery, the difference of a day's worth of time, or the clear absence of Andrew, you're not sure which has made him less nervous. Hi, bye, and you click your tongue, tipping your head in the direction of the path back into town. You don't have to be somewhere? Vince's eyes widen, a flash of embarrassment and horror crossing his expression before he covers his mouth, awkwardly coughing into his sleeve. Yeah, let's pretend that was a unique circumstance and not ask any more questions. He drops his arms back down to his side uselessly. I don't have anywhere to be right now. Enjoying another good rock today? Nah, some seal took it. Nature's law of finders keepers. Had to respect it. It wasn't at all the fact that it weighed a ton, you probably couldn't move it. I mean, you know, it was part of it. Were you planning on hanging out? The beach closes at around like 10, but you've got until the lifeguards make their last sweeps at 11. Not today. For once, I have plans. His head tips to the side, eyebrows raising slightly enough that you can't tell if he's actually interested or if he's being condescending. I came to see if I could try and find you. I was thinking, beach? Safe bet, he's probably there. What? There's a crackle in his throat as Vince tries to formulate words, and his expression switches between surprised and startled before landing on, I'm not at the beach that. Okay, I guess I am here pretty often. Resignation. I'm actually running errands for Dante, but I'm glad I bumped into you. Are you heading back home? Yeah, I had a busy day of thinking. About? Ditto? Beach stuff? I was watching the surface for most of the afternoon, but the waves aren't as good, so not as many people to see. Surfing, huh? Should be surprising to hear that he's interested in it. It's easy to picture him out here with sand and sun, despite the whole pale goth vibe he has going for him. But somehow, trying to imagine him in conjunction with surfer culture, a rocket bra from him might give you a heart attack. Righteous. Nothing. I didn't know you were into surfing. What other secret talents are you hiding beneath that hoodie? Nothing much. Does housework count? Considering I know some people who can't work a washing machine, I'd say so, yeah. Then I'm a triple threat, I guess. I used to be, I still kind of am. Surfing's cool if you're a morning person, and, you find the right guys to go with and it's fun. He shrugs non-committally, dragging his hands back out of his pockets for extra emphasis. Vince shifts back and forth on his feet, pausing before he steps to the side and gestures for you to take the lead. You got errands, right? Yeah, but I'll come with. I need to grab some groceries anyway. Sure, I don't mind. The two of you fall into step along the boardwalk, making your way towards the only storefront with the lights on and the shutters drawn. Have you ever gone surfing? I've never had the chance to try, but I've always wanted to. You could always try it while you're here. There's instructors. Some of them work for cheaper, so you don't have to be empty out your savings or anything. I didn't even think about that, you're right. Vince trails off as he's wont to do, nudging the door open with his shoulder. The bell rings gently overhead as you both step into the faint humidity of the general store. It's the same as last time you saw it. The only difference looks to be the small sign that's now posted in a pile of shells on the counter reading, now selling seashells by the seashore. The singular employee glances up from his reading, waving a greeting with the paper in his hand. Back again? Did you forget something the last time you were here? He grins impishly, but thankfully leaves it at that before he offers a nod in Vince's direction. He returns it with his usual calm energy. You take another look at your list and orient yourself to the aisles, Vince already having quietly disappeared into a farther corner of the store. Nothing entirely new. Vince will go where he went and you find him later. One item after the other enters your basket as you find the things on Dante's list. Most of it is thankfully congregated in one particular section of the store. There were the shampoo and conditioner stored next to the peanut butter, and multiple types of peanut butter at that. You can't really make any sense of the organization, but maybe that's part of the appeal. You find everything? You nearly jump out of your skin at the sound of his voice, and Vince holds up in his hands in a mutual surrender, the glass bottles in one of his cardboard crates clinking together. Sorry, I didn't mean to... I'm fine. I just need to start my heart again. I wasn't that loud. Apologetic as he says he is, Vince still smiles a little too widely at having startled you. Outside of the crate, you spy in his arms laden with a number of frozen goods, a handful of single-serve calzones and TV dinners, with a single bundle of spinach laid across them. He's clearly found everything he was looking for. Yeah, pretty much. I was just finishing up. Thoughts? Orchid vanilla or cinnamon hazel? Is there a difference? I mean, a little. Carefully setting your basket down, you twist open one of the caps of the shampoo and tilt it against him. Vince leans in, but you can feel his warm breath against the back of your fingers. His lashes lower and he's unguarded, actually, for the first time since you met him. Eye bags aside, I like his eye bags.
I have a thing for those.
Okay, and the other one?
Right, focus. You close the first and open the second and he pauses to consider. Cinnamon hazelnut it is. The other bottles are replaced on the shelf, and the two of you make your way to the counter to pay. Before long, you're both back out of the door with bags in hand. You hadn't been inside long, but it looks like the last of the afternoon's already passed you by along with the sunset. The sky's darkened some, but with the summer still here, you doubt you'd see it get to actual nighttime before you walk back to the inn.
Do you want to try it?
You glance at him from the corner of your eye, and Vince looks back with a carefully pieced together look of indifference, lips pinching together from how tense he is. Try what?
Surfing. Or, paddleboarding. Anything. With me.
Like a date? A stellar non sequitur from Vince. He must have been waiting to continue the conversation from before you'd even gone inside, but seriously, he could have just kept talking while we were in the store. Sure, name the time and place. As if I would reject. Look at him smile! I did it! Aww!
Seriously? Alright, it's just, I think you'd like it.
And it's not at all because you want someone to go with you.
Maybe it's that too. I was just thinking, I used to do all this kind of shit with Drew, but it's complicated.
His silence says. He looks down again, half chewing on his lip as the two of you keep walking across the sandy wood. The waves rush nearby, crashing soft on the shore as if to encourage him to keep going. You haven't met a Drew in your short time in Bryan Bay, but, Andrew? You did know an Andrew? Yeah, plus you saw the two of them earlier today at the bookstore too. You'd have to be blind to not notice the way that Vince tensed up when Andrew came around, or how Andrew struggled to find the words. Neither of them are the chattiest people in the world, but you'd written it off just as chance. Are you two exes? Now Vince is telling you that they were friends. Vince sighs, bags in hand as he crosses his arms behind him. His eyes go back towards the sky in a familiar search for something else to look at as he decides how to say what he wants.
I'm calling it exposure therapy, something like that. I haven't stepped into the water since, I don't know. I was like 17, but I used to like it. It was a whole thing that I'm not really gonna get into, but I'm trying to do things I like again.
I'm proud of you.
Like playing music.
Do you wanna go? Right now?
Surfing. I'm wearing jeans.
No, I meant do you wanna go... do you wanna try and go into the water? Right now?
But I've got frozens.
Vince, the two of you exchange a look. The thought puts him ill at ease, and the corners of his lips twitch as if he wants to say no but isn't quite sure. But he says he just wants to do things, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's go right now.
His typically somber eyes brighten, and the two of you go from a slow walk to a dash across the sand. Laughter bubbling up to the surface in between the clinks of bottles and the bump crash of shampoo bottles against hairbrush packaging. As your feet start to sink into the sand and the cold of the Pacific laps at your ankles, you realize that there isn't anyone standing beside you. You turn back, the sea breeze whipping past and the hem of your clothes fluttering. And Vince stands there on the precipice of something new, the edge of the shore and the water. The delight and enthusiasm suddenly absent as every muscle in his body seems to grow tense. He draws a deep breath, then takes his first cautious step into the unknown. Vince doesn't remember to roll up his pants, but you hardly think it matters to a guy that says he's been afraid of the ocean since he was a teenager. Each step is slow, but he makes his way to you, confidence suspended somewhere in between the sky, the sea, and you.
This is so much colder than I remember.
How you feeling though?
Good? Bad? We're only like shin deep, but...
He turns his gaze out towards the ocean, watching all the waves roll in from another shore.
I haven't even gotten this far in years. I don't even know why it felt.
Vince trails off again, but all the tension leaves his body as he watches the horizon, and another small wave crashes past you both until it lands, bubbles on the shore. Take his hand so he doesn't fall. While the current isn't strong here, you know the way the ocean moves sand means it'll literally pull the rug right out from under Vince. You reach for his hand, fingers brushing up against his, and Vince nearly startles, nearly jerking it right out of your grasp until he realizes. His gaze lowers, sunset blush on his cheeks as he relaxes a closed fist into an open hand.
I'm not gonna fall.
Just making sure. He doesn't say anything else, but the little smile says more than any words could as he gently curls his fingers around yours.
We're gonna be dripping on the way back.
That's what Dante gets for making me run his errands. He snorts, shaking his head and sending stray water drops flying. Vince turns his head in your direction again, his expression softening. It's almost funny how often he does this. You still couldn't say that you knew him that well, but you can pick out the way he avoids your eyes except when he has something important to say. He always seems to hesitate before he jumps into anything. You don't know what makes him braver today, but maybe it's a sign that he's gotten comfortable around you. Or maybe it's just that he's decided for himself that he's gotten tired of watching instead of doing.
What am I doing here, seriously?
You shrug. The two of you are just out in the water on a whim. Isn't it too late to ask? Vince snorts, water flicking from his hands as a summer breeze sweeps by, warm and inviting as if to tell you both to stay longer. Beats me. I've been making it up every day since I got here.
You're not worrying about wasting time.
Dude, honestly, I've got nothing but. I wish I had that. He doesn't say anything else, just smiling to himself. The two of you enjoy the rest of the evening sun until it starts to get too cool for you to keep waddling around in the water. Vince walks you back to the inn, with his frozens very thoroughly unfrozen, saying goodbye before Dante drops the lecture of a lifetime on you for dripping and dragging sand everywhere into his inn. It isn't hard for him to say mad, but at least you got everything he asked for. Plus a little extra time spent with Vince, and a chance to help him in some small way. It was worth it. Alright, time to settle in for my nightly scrolling. Oh, it's Rachel! Hey, so I'm investigating right now. Why are all the graves empty? Kevin, took a walk through town this evening. Nothing beats chilling with your bro after another long day. Today started off really different. Chipoki and I had a lot to discuss during our lunch break. Ooh, spicy. I want to know what happened between Andrew and Vince. And do I have money? No. Sleep? Also no. Social life? Believe it or not, no. Is that Noah from Stillwater? I love that game so much. This is so cute. I like how there's all these references to all these different devs and their games and characters. And also, it's Kane. Look at him. So cute. The words and colors begin to blur on the screen, and your eyelids start to droop like they're held down by heavy weights. I think I can finally sleep. With a press of the button on your phone screen, it turns black and you limply plop it beside your pillow. Your eyes shut as the soothing sounds of the beach from the slightly open window lull you to sleep. Off to the dream world you go, preparing you for another eventful day tomorrow. And that's the end of the demo. I'm so excited to play the rest of it, but this was so cute. I love a good wholesome game. This really gives me like Our Life in Keyframes vibes. Oh, look how gorgeous they are. Oh, I love them. Genuinely so cute. There's a lot of branching paths in this, because especially since there's like 7 different people to romance. Before I keep going on about my thoughts on the game, there is a Kickstarter going on at the moment that I've also linked in the description box, so be sure to check that out if you guys are keen with the game and would like to support the team. But that was my playthrough of the brand new demo of Threads of You Beyond the Bay. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I love a good wholesome game sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, I know I love my share of like yanderes and stuff, but recently I've been really wanting just something wholesome. Obviously, I was drawn to Vince because I like the ones with the sad backstory. That's like me. So when I saw him, also I like the alternative ones. So when I saw Vince roll up with his accessories and his like outfit, I was like, ooh, that one. Plus, not to mention, he's tired and canonically has eye bag, so that's like double happy thing for me. But no, I was so happy to be able to play this. This is great. The developers did an amazing job. The team did absolutely wonderfully. The updated art is so pretty. The UI is absolutely gorgeous. Like, you can tell so much love has gone into this demo and preparing for their upcoming Kickstarter, and I genuinely cannot wait to play the rest of the game. I have a favorite, which is Vince, but I am pretty intrigued by pretty much the entire cast. I know we weren't able to meet everybody in the subsequent like routes when we were picking through like the maps and stuff. Each one of them just seems so interesting and incredibly distinct to one another that I want to go back and meet them all. So definitely this game is going to get a lot of replayability from me when the full game comes out, and I'm very, very keen for it. But which character was your favorite and why? I would love to hear it in the comments below. And also, if you guys would like to support the game on Kickstarter, as I said before, the link is in the description box below. Or if you've downloaded the game, you can just feel free to click this in the upper left corner right here. But yeah, by supporting the Kickstarter, you'll be able to unlock exclusive add-ons that you can have, including physical merch and other little goodies. And there are also stretch goals for you to help the team reach as well, such as more voice acting, extra events, more nightly calls, additional CGs, so be sure to check that out. But thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it, and thank you so much for supporting me. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. And also, if you'd like to support the channel, my Patreon is in the description box below. Feel free to check it out if you'd like. But thank you so much again, and until the next Fiction of Man, take care.